The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, June 21st, 2024. This program starts right now.
Sports!
Are the greatest of all time, and we are incredibly lucky and thankful and grateful to be able to do this job on this glorious Feel Good Friday, especially with how yesterday's show ended where we lose power out of nowhere. It is an honor to be able to talk the sports every single day, and we enjoy the hell out of it. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. All the boys are in the back, and big thanks to Jack Carr yesterday, saving the program.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Love you, Jack.
Big thanks to Kenny Chesney stopping by yesterday and having a chit-chat about his career and the state of music. And, you know, yesterday was a nice chance to kind of venture outside of just the sport world and talk to real-life heroes in Jack Carr, in celebrities in Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney's been on the road for 31 years. Got a chance to go see some of his show last night here in Indianapolis. Obviously, very thankful that he invited my wife and I up there. Last-minute babysitter situation. We couldn't stay for the entire program. But, boy, Kenny Chesney, when the sun goes down, which is late here in Indianapolis during the summer, the sun goes down tour, he rocked the house. 25,000 people at the amphitheater last night on a Thursday for Kenny Chesney. Tone and his wife, I do believe, were two of the ones that stayed for the entirety of the program. I'm appreciative that we represented. What a show. He's assistant tour manager slash agent. I don't know. Bailey is his name. Malachi, I believe, Bailey. Yeah, everybody calls him Bailey. Great human, took care of us. Kenny and I and Gumpy and my wife got to hang out before the program, met a couple of his friends and everything, had a couple drinks. It was awesome last night. So thanks to them for coming by yesterday. Today, packed with sports.
Oh, yeah.
Packed with sports. We got Charania joining us in about 8 minutes. I'm sure he'll be bummed out on this Feel Good Friday for how everything has kind of turned out in the exact way that he kind of said it was going to on May 24th. But that should be a fun convo. Adam Schefter will be joining us in about 38 minutes. He's fresh off of Adam Schefter Day in Nassau County, New York, which is congrats to him for all of his coverage on the biggest league on earth. Can't wait to chit-chat with him about what's going on with some of these contract situations. Ayuk say, hey, 1 more year? Yeah. We know he's got a deep plug in San Francisco. Oh, yeah. Okay, we know he's tied in there. How about T. Higgins there? You know, he signs his franchise tag. He's back on a 1-year deal or whatever, the franchise tag deal. What does that mean for the future? Any other outstanding situations taking place around the NFL world that we need to know going into this weekend? Schefter will tell us. In the second hour, we'll have PK Subban joining us.
Nice.
PK Subban obviously joining us to talk about the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Game 6 tonight. The series was 3-0, then it was 3-1.
What?
Well, tonight in Edmonton, will they be able to even this series and send us to a Game 7 back in Florida? Another 8-hour flight potentially possible for this series, or will the Florida Panthers put away and win tonight and earn their first ever Stanley Cup in the history of their franchise? We shall see. Game starts tonight at 8 o'clock with the puck drop happening on ABC. Obviously, Steve Levy, Moose, and PK will be on an hour before then to get us all zeeked up about the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. It'll be awesome tonight in Edmonton. Michael Giller will join us in the second hour to chit-chat about the Euros and also the United States of America kicking off their Copa America run, which obviously we're going to win.
Yeah.
Duh.
That's how this is going to go.
Almost shouldn't even play the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we very much understand that. The last time Grella was on, he told us everything that was going to happen in the Euros. I assume he'll do the same thing for the Copa America, and the way he'll say it will be super, cultural.
Italian.
He'll be he'll be in the Italians. Blues, they stink. I can't wait to talk about that.
Own goal.
And then we'll have Ryan McGee live from the College World Series.
Hell yeah.
At about 2:05 Eastern time, because Tennessee's taking on Texas A&M, and I'll tell you what, Omaha is going to be rocking. And if these Tennessee Volunteers finally get a win, Ryan McGee might Vesuvius his pants.
Yeah, he might.
There's a chance. We can't wait to chat with him. Obviously, AJ Hawk will be joining us as well. The big news yesterday, which is why Shams will be joining us, JJ Redick has signed a 4-year, $32 million deal to become the next Lakers head coach. Now, that's $8 million a year he'll be getting paid. You could do some quick math with California taxes. He's getting $4 million. He signed a 4-year, $16 million deal to become the Los Angeles Lakers head coach with LeBron James, who's obviously his podcast co-host. With how many years does he have left? 2, maybe. Anthony Davis, obviously, he's going to be the star of the team. They have the 17th overall pick in the draft that's coming up. What will this Lakers team look like this upcoming season as JJ Redick embarks on his first head coaching season? Now, I don't appreciate or like how JJ Redick has been talked about.
Sure. It's interesting.
By a lot of people who have been co-workers of JJ Redick. And I am not somebody who is tight with JJ Redick. I am not, I don't have JJ Redick's phone number in my phone. I don't know how, if he's been on the program, I think one time. I don't really chat with him or catch up with him. But JJ Redick played 15 years in the NBA. I think he made the playoffs 14 times. Okay, for teams he was on. Was he the star of the teams? Well, I'm sure there's people that are going holy shit, that's JJ Redick because of what he did at Duke. But you're talking about a guy who I believe was considered a leader on every one of his teams. 14 of them make the playoffs in 15 years. 14 times his teams made the playoffs that he was on. He averaged 13 points. He has a 12,000-point scorer. Everything he accomplished in basketball would lead you to believe, this guy might be a good coach.
Sure.
Been around a long time, knows a lot of the basketball, is a basketball savant. He was actually being introduced on a lot of these shows on ESPN as a guy this guy's a basketball genius. He's been around a lot of winning cultures, yada, 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 JJ Redick. And now that JJ Redick got the job, or was seemingly going to get the job, a lot of people on TV are acting like he's not the right guy for the job. If an ex-player with 15 years of experience who is a basketball junkie, who is able to showcase his big brain in the Mind Game podcast with the star of the team, who happens to be LeBron James, and didn't seem to be nervous, would he not be a guy who is seemingly a good candidate for the job? And wouldn't the people that had that guy on their show want people to believe that their show had the Los Angeles Lakers head coach on the show? None of it really makes sense about the chatter around JJ Redick. Is it because potentially they weren't the ones that knew that JJ Redick was maybe going to be?
Could be.
Maybe.
Is it that level of pettiness, or is JJ Redick going to stink as a head coach? I guess that is what we'll see. That is what is alleged and being alleged seemingly by a lot of his former co-workers now at ESPN and around the sports media world. But what if this guy is the next one? What if Joe Mazzulla and JJ Redick are the next batch of great young coaches that go on and take over the entire NBA? There's a chance, but that situation in LA is not the most desirable Boston corner.
No, it's brutal, but they have LeBron and AD, like you mentioned, and that's awesome. But everything you said about JJ Redick is exactly why you would hire the guy. If they do view him, especially with the Lakers, kind of history with Pat Riley, it is a very similar situation to that. Now, obviously, Pat Riley has gone on to be one of the greatest, front office head coach members, players of all time. But if you're just betting on somebody, wouldn't you want to bet on a guy who's been in locker rooms? He's played in different eras of the NBA, obviously, because he played for so damn long. And, he does have a good relationship with LeBron, which has been the story with the head coaches of the Lakers. Hey, LeBron and the head coach aren't seeing eye to eye. That's been a huge reason why they've had to fire coaches over and over again. So it doesn't make any sense. The 35-year-old Joe Mazzulla just won an NBA championship, so age shouldn't be a thing whatsoever. It's baffling, really. I'm jacked up because JJ
Me too.
Redick.
I'm kind of jacked up for JJ Redick.
Yeah,
Did he have to do press conferences?
Bingo.
Because he'll get a little...
The backwards hat.
Yeah,
He'll get after it.
Certainly Cowherd's not going to be pumped about that. There's going to be others that aren't going to be thrilled about the whole, yeah, bro, Of
course.
Owners of teams wear backwards hat. People wear backwards hats.
Right.
It's 2024. That is,
Sure.
We aren't in those times anymore in this.
Right.
But JJ's got a little... Jay's got a little edge.
He's got that.
You piss him off a little bit. JJ is going to give his thoughts. And if he's in Los Angeles, obviously there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be asking a lot of questions. The expectations are going to be what they're going to be. We're going to get phenomenal press conferences out of JJ Redick. The NBA is going to have great storylines with JJ. How about when he revisits one of his teams that he played for, all the teams that he played for, whether it's down New Orleans or Orlando or Milwaukee, wherever. He's going to go everywhere. The conversations with the adjustments that he's going to make for these entire things. The things he said on Mind the Game, are they coming to fruition in real life? In theory, Coach JJ, is it as good as reality, JJ? I mean, let's go. Let's see. And for the Lakers, $70 million was the alleged number that they were going to pay Dan Hurley to be their head coach, allegedly, all of that stuff. $32 million, which is actually $16 million after America. Congratulations, they signed $16 million. Well, California more specifically, and federal income tax. They just signed a $16 million deal over the next 4 years to be the coach. Congrats to Uncle Sam getting that money in there. They didn't pay nearly as much as they thought they were going to have to pay a coach at one point, or were alleged to be okay in there. And JJ seemingly wanted to be a ball coach. So now he gets an opportunity to do it with one of the most famous and successful franchises in the history of sports, and obviously in the NBA. Joining us now is a man who maybe has a little bit more information about it all. Senior NBA insider for FanDuel TV and The Athletic, ladies and gentlemen, Charania. Shami, saw your hair a little messy this morning. Thought we were going to maybe get celebratory Charania.
What are you talking about? What?
You know what I'm talking about. You had your model shit going on. No.
I wake up like this.
You don't. Yeah, you actually looked cooler with the way your hair
was. Like a messy.
It was like a sloppy spike for Sharon. You looked super duper cool. I just want to let you know that we were lucky to see that out of you this morning.
Well, listen, I do tend to wake up like that. All right, no, I don't wake up like that. But maybe in a summer edition we can bring that back here. But I'm not ready for that yet.
Today would have been the day, because people could have thought like maybe Shams Charania was having some lunch for dinner last night. We know how much he loves lunch. Maybe he turned it into dinner for a celebratory situation. Maybe he took out his fork and ate his oatmeal and his yogurt and everything with his fork. Maybe last night you just kind of did it all, had water, a lot more alarms for the water. Right. But just like you said was going to happen, on May 24th on this program, I don't know where you said it anywhere else, but JJ Redick is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. 4 years, $32 million deal. It was in your article that you reported that. It's actually 4 years, $16 million with Uncle Sam and the California taxes being what they are. So let's just go through this whole thing. Why do you think there is a narrative out there that JJ Redick is maybe not the right coach for the Los Angeles Lakers? And how pumped is JJ Redick to now be a coach in the NBA? You can kind of answer that however you want. And congrats on calling this about a month ago.
Yeah, JJ Redick is ecstatic to get this job. He really wanted to be an NBA head coach, and he's been on two different tracks here, right? We know about his media career. We know his role as an analyst, calling games this season at a high level, calling games in the NBA Finals. And as much as he was deep on that and he was really committed to that, there was another lane that he was pursuing, and that was being an NBA head coach. He interviewed for the Charlotte Hornets job about a month and a half ago, and that was an important job for him as well. If the Charlotte Hornets had offered him that position, I think that was something he would have taken very seriously. But when the Lakers position opened up and when that became a viable option for him, obviously he had interest, and in my sense is even watching and calling some of these games in the NBA playoffs, that gave JJ Redick an understanding of what he would do if he was an NBA head coach, how he would operate. And everything kind of crystallized really over the last couple weeks. And a big component of that was him going in and spending time with Jeannie Buss, ownership, and the Lakers, and sharing his vision. And what the Lakers saw from JJ Redick is a coach that's flexible, someone that is not going to be stuck on a roster to be able to determine and dictate exactly how he wants to manage his team offensively and defensively. He wants to be flexible. And I think he looks at guys like Eric Spoelstra around the league that have the ability to essentially mold their team, mold their system based on the roster. That's going to be very important for him. And the other component is he saw with this team two issues and things that he wants to go in and work on. And that's Anthony Davis and his workload, and offensively, how Anthony Davis was being utilized the last couple of years. He wants to make Anthony Davis feel more involved, especially down the stretch of games. And then another thing, and this is more important, Pat, and we're going to see how this plays out. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. But playing LeBron James more off the ball, that is something that JJ Redick has spoken about over the last couple weeks in his conversations with the Lakers. We know how dominant LeBron is on the ball, so how can he make this work? Maybe having 3 ball handlers to really start the offense. So all of this started to crystallize with JJ Redick. He's really been the focus for the Lakers for the last month. He's the guy that they've wanted really for the last 4 weeks of this coaching search. And it wasn't I think I said it around that point. It was interesting that the timing just start to align with the NBA Finals coming to an end and them really gearing into shape with JJ Redick. And finally agreeing to that contract yesterday. JJ Redick really started on the job this week. He had a conversation with Anthony Davis, I heard, on Monday. Oh. And they had a conversation. They spoke about how JJ Redick views Anthony Davis. So JJ Redick, in his mind, has really been aiming and pushing on this job really since the week began.
We're happy for JJ. Congrats, JJ.
Attaboy, JJ.
If this is what JJ wants, happy for JJ. And
yeah.
I think there was another place he obviously you've chatted about in the past where he could have been a head coach. He is a ball lover, and I think that's the trait that you basketball.
Yeah. Pause. Yep.
Basketball lover.
We got you.
He's a junkie. He's a fiend when it comes to the game of basketball.
Junkie.
Nose ball, basketball lover.
Right.
He
Ball
lives
lover,
and
though.
breathes this.
Yeah,
and that's something the Lakers can see as well. That's what anyone that spends any time with JJ Redick, they can see how much he loves the game. And you have to be tireless when it comes to that profession of coaching. There's no day off. There's no night off. There's no second off. And the fact that JJ Redick understands that, he embraces that challenge. And that is one thing that he's going to be very happy about, is that this is one position that you can literally only talk about basketball the entire time. There's not much focus on anything else. But when you're coaching the Lakers, there's going to be other things to talk about as well.
That's what I'm saying. The other stuff that potentially comes with this, if you win for the Lakers, and JJ Redick, think about the Duke connections he already has.
Oh, yeah.
Duke has a lot of these connections all over the place. If he wins as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, now it's going to be tough. I understand it's going to be very difficult in the NBA. Could the movies JJ becomes one of the most famous pieces of pop culture in Los Angeles with the way they will think about,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is the perfect candidate for that.
Big push.
With especially the way he speaks, the way,
He's got the look. He's got the LA, when you think about the suits, you think about the look, the hair. That's why Pat Riley gets brought up a little bit.
Tats.
Yeah, he's
That's
got
why
sweet,
Pat
tiny
Riley
tats.
gets brought up a little bit around, behind the scenes with the Lakers. When you think about a guy that's gone from commentating to then coaching, JJ Redick, obviously he played. Pat Riley played. I'm not saying JJ Redick is going to be like Pat Riley, but obviously if you're the Lakers, you have to think about the positives, and they made those comparisons early. And one thing to also point out is Coach K was very involved as an informal consultant as part of this coaching search, from what I'm told. And obviously we know Coach K's relationship with JJ Redick, Coach JJ Redick. And that was someone that the Lakers leaned on, relied on, talked to, not only about JJ Redick, but other candidates, and really getting a feel from Coach K on how to manage, how a coach, especially a first-time guy like JJ Redick, can come in and establish a culture. They don't want JJ Redick to only coach LeBron James for the next 2 years. They want JJ Redick to be their next coach for the next 3 to 4 years. That's why I do think they're going to allow JJ Redick to an extent to coach through some of his mistakes that are going to happen early on.
3 to 4 years is an eternity in the NBA.
Yeah.
True. And head coach, especially nowadays, especially with the Lakers, especially with LeBron, especially in the modern NBA seemingly. If he's able to win, what a time for JJ Redick. It's going to get loud over there.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get loud.
No matter what.
So if you think about what the Lakers did, they bring in Coach K to consult, okay? Then you're obviously got LeBron James, who's his podcast co-host. It's almost like the Lakers were hoping.
Kind of gift wrap.
They were hoping JJ was the guy.
It was like,
And then they watch Mind the Game. They talked to Coach K.
I think they knew JJ Redick was the guy for the last month, Pat. And I think allowing JJ Redick to fully focus on, what was important for JJ Redick the last month was commentating, was his job. Like there's a lot that goes into calling games, right? And I think he for sure wanted that focus to be on that.
I do wish he would have been like, what they need to do is run the set that we're going to run next year for the Lakers.
Yeah.
So they need to, during while he's
They
gone.
saw a lot of that on the podcast, though. There was a lot of that on Mind the Game.
Yeah, so
I think they got a great look at JJ Redick, the coach, on the podcast.
Yeah, how about LeBron going, all right, riddle me this. Two guys, and JJ's like, yeah, give me the dry erase board.
Well.
I'm doing this. And then all of us are like, wow, I feel like I just got smarter. And LeBron's like, this motherfucker might be a good coach. That is, throughout the entirety of it, the Lakers obviously are going to look to have success. It's not just your stars, though, or your coach. Seemingly, you got to have a full team. We learned that, obviously, with Boston and all the teams that failed. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Shams, you mentioned the roster, and I think it was Brian Windhorst this morning who basically said, like, hey, if the Lakers would have traded for Alex Caruso, that would have been a bigger deal than signing J.J. Redick as head coach because their roster has so many question marks. So what are they going to do to kind of try to fill out this team and make them more competitive? Because they obviously can't just run back what they did last year with how tough the Western Conference is.
That's why the pressure is on the Lakers front office to make major changes on the roster to an extent because, like you said, this team came up short this past year. And when you think about J.J. Redick and the principles that he wants to implement, defense, point of attack defenders, versatile players, and what we saw with Boston, like a few years ago with the Warriors, you saw the Warriors kind of change the game. I think the Celtics, in a way, people are going to try to follow their trend. When you think about, they have 5 players, especially in their starting lineup, that can do multiple things. Neither of them are weak defensively. They play both sides of the ball. Right. That is very, very important. And you can't have holes. You can't have a player that might be a negative for you defensively. So I think they're going to look at that side of the ball, and they have to be aggressive. You know, one name that they did pursue last season at the trade deadline that I think teams around the league expect to come up again in trade conversations over the next week or so and make sense for the Lakers is DeJounte Murray with the Hawks. That's someone that, you know, you think about over the next week or so. What do the Hawks do, not only with the number 1 overall pick, but they potentially have a decision to make with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, which player stays, which player goes. And the Lakers have maintained a level of interest in DeJounte Murray over the last several months.
No, because we were told Trae's the one leaving.
Yeah.
Not Murray.
And DeJounte Murray's talking to Kawhi Leonard in Paris.
Yeah. You put up a picture of his hair.
Yeah.
So,
well,
does Atlanta not know which one's like? Yeah. Is that like a
Atlanta is still unsure about which? I mean, a lot of it comes down to value, right? If you can get more value for one player than the other, then you have to look at that. They're still not 100% set on the value that they can attain in the marketplace, and that's why draft is coming up Wednesday, Thursday. There will be a much better sense come Wednesday, Thursday as far as which direction Atlanta could go in. They also, at the same time, they got to figure out that number 1 overall pick, what they're going to do with that pick.
Okay, so why don't you tell the Lakers whenever you have your little discussions and they give you the inside scoop, which we now know this guy's plugged with the Lakers.
Yep.
Okay, T.J. McConnell's not available. Okay, sounds like he would be the perfect player for the Lakers. Just know that he's not available.
Never will be.
He's never will be. He's a pacer for the rest of his life. So you tell Pelinka.
The Pacers are working to extend T.J. McConnell. That is someone that they want around for the long haul.
Okay, good. Just make sure they know that. Okay, that is certainly something they need. Last question here about J.J. Redick and the Lakers from Tone.
Yeah, Shams, I haven't heard yet. Are they going to continue to do the Mind the Game pod? Or is that just going to be like the film room with the rest of the guys in the room? Or how's that going to work?
I have not heard definitively yet, but it would be hard-pressed for me to see a regular media podcast from a sitting NBA head coach with its star player. I mean, just imagine losing 3 or 4 games or being on a back-to-back or being in a tough stretch of adversity and doing a podcast. That is not something that people...
Well, I'm bummed out. I was learning basketball. Let's pivot away from the Lakers. Let's talk a little bit about other basketball news that happened yesterday that obviously got buried under the J.J. Redick to the Lakers news. Caruso traded out of Chicago to Oklahoma City for Giddey. It was just player for player. There's no other picks, nothing. What is this? Is this Caruso saying, get me out of Chicago? Is this the Bulls saying we need to move on? Caruso, great player, right, for the Bulls? I do know that there's been like trade conversations with Caruso for like the last year and a half, seemingly. Now he's let go by the Bulls just for another player. No offense to Giddey, but like, is this expected? How should we view this? And what does this mean for both teams?
The Bulls have had offers of 1, 2 first-round picks on the table over the last couple of years for Alex Caruso. They chose to keep him. They wanted to keep him, but I think it became apparent around there over the last few weeks that an extension was something that Alex Caruso wanted, and being a part of a situation, potentially contending type situation, that was important for him moving forward. And this trade just depends on how you view Josh Giddey. And some people have their opinions on Josh Giddey. The Bulls, they love Josh Giddey. They really, for the last year or so, they've looked into Josh Giddey. They've scouted him. They've looked at him deeply. And with Lonzo Ball, you not being sure about his future at that position, whether he's going to be able to play at a high level again, they felt like this was an opportunity, getting someone that they can build with for the next 4 or 5 years and trading someone who's now 30 years old, who's trying to win and being part of a more contending situation. So this literally just comes down to the future of Josh Giddey. The Bulls are very high. The Bulls are bullish on Josh Giddey and his future. They believe he has potential. Obviously, as a shooter, that's an area that he has to improve. But from a ball handling perspective, passing, we see right there, he can bring that. Just 2 years ago, he averaged 17, 8, and 7. So this is someone that has shown some potential.
Okay, so Caruso, they're going to get a deal done. He's going to be in Oklahoma City forever. It's Caruso town.
Probably.
And with that Oklahoma City team, they're young. Mm-hmm. You add Caruso, they got to,
perfect.
Are we talking about Oklahoma City all of a sudden? Mm-hmm. This is...
We've been talking about Oklahoma City as a contender. They have arrived.
No, amen. Yeah, in the playoffs run. But we're talking about J.J. Redick and the Lakers. Like, if they win, they go and do the thing. It's like... Oklahoma City just had a phenomenal playoff run. Everybody talking about SGA and how young they are and how good they are and yada, yada, all that stuff. This is not but immediately after they get eliminated.
Championships. Yeah, they're competing for championships moving forward.
But as soon as they get eliminated, nobody talks about it. It's like Oklahoma City. Okay, we still got how's Denver going to bounce back? Mm-hmm. And it's like Phoenix. Well, Phoenix is going to figure it out right now because they got a whole new situation brewing down there with the coach. And then Timberwolves, Ant-Man's the next one. Yep. J.J. Redick and the Lakers are going to be away. It's like nobody really talks about Oklahoma City. And then they just brought in Caruso, who's a dog. Yeah. It's like they got legitimately better.
One seed,
It's like, holy shit, Oklahoma City might ruin all the fun and games for every NBA conversation that's happening in the West all of a sudden.
They're building, and they still have salary cap space. They have almost 30 million range of salary cap space that people expect them to use either in trades or in free agency. And so they're a team to continue to monitor. I think you look at that center position, that's still a position that could need one more body. I think they're still going to be active when you think about that center spot, whether it's someone coming off the bench to relieve Chet Holmgren or playing alongside Chet Holmgren. That's going to continue to be a focus for the Thunder. But this was a move for them that takes them one step closer to contending, one step closer to winning. They got a taste of that playoff experience. They didn't know exactly what they had. They didn't know how these pieces would all align and look come playoff time. They won one series. Obviously, they lost in the second round. They feel like Caruso can make an impact for them. They're still trying to get one or two more pieces as well.
Yeah, and I assume Caruso feels like he can as well. I think he's probably going to be pretty excited to join that squad down there. And I think that entire team, and maybe the entire city, should be very pumped that the only reason they didn't win this year is because that fucking commercial.
Yeah, that's right.
Next year, they're not going to run that commercial anymore.
They're not. Can't.
So it's a whole new... That was potentially... once they let that out into the universe was like, not this year. Yep. This can't happen at the same exact...
Just set them free. Just set them free now.
Bingo. That's what it is. Caruso, we got a whole new year. Set them free from that entire thing. I'm excited for next year's Oklahoma City team. Now, are they going to maybe bring a guy back? Whoa. Connor has a question for you.
Shams, it's being reported now that Paul George might opt in to his option and then ask for a trade to where he wants to go. What's the status on that? And also, thank you for congratulating me on winning an NBA championship.
You don't need any more. I thought we did that the other day. I don't think there's any more. I thought you'd be at the parade, BC.
No. Next year.
Kind of upset that you're not at the parade. Should have sent you out there as a correspondent.
Next year.
I should have plugged that in there. Paul George.
Yeah, we have no connection with the Celtics. None. Let's let this be known. We have reached out numerous times. People wonder why we didn't have any Celtics on throughout this entire time. We've reached out. We're talking ghosted, just completely, which we respect. Most banners in the history of the NBA, but it's not for a lack of effort. We would like to let that be known on our side in this entire thing.
I would think they've been swamped, but someone's got to. Some Celtics got to come.
It's been a few weeks. It's been a few. But hey,
Paul George.
It's Boston Celtics.
That's right.
Boston Celtics. Paul George. Yeah, let's get back to Paul George. Yep, let's get back to Paul George.
Yeah, so Paul George still figuring out his future. I think multiple routes can be at play, right? Opting in, getting traded. He's done that before, or he's seen that be done before. That's something that Chris Paul's done in the past. We've seen players opt in, trade. That has taken place. Paul George a few years ago, he's never been a part of real free agency. He's been traded before, he's extended, he's been traded. But to really, truly experience free agency, I think that's something Paul George seems like he's on that route of doing and experiencing it and being out in a marketplace with teams. But one team that has been mentioned with him is Philadelphia. And you never say never, you never say 100%, but right now, the signal that they're giving teams around the league is they are open for business. They have $40 million in cap space. They have multiple draft picks that they can trade. And they feel like over the next week or so, they can be aggressive. And if there's an option that presents itself, they can move now and not have to wait on Paul George in free agency. And so there's someone to keep an eye on over the next week or so. How do they use that salary cap space? But Paul George, he'll have multiple options. I mean, whether it's going back to the Clippers, there's going to be multiple suitors for him in the marketplace.
Okay, I can't wait to see. Maybe he comes back to Indiana.
Yeah, maybe the Spurs with Wemby.
Yeah, they need to.
Bingo.
They were saying Trae Young was maybe going to end up going there, but now it's not. Trae Young might be in Atlanta still.
Which is wild.
Because we were told he's gone because they're keeping Murray. But instead, now Murray might be going to the Lakers and Trae might stay in Atlanta.
Don't love that.
I don't understand what the hell's going on. The NBA is a wild place. Thanks for keeping it all in track for us, Shams. You're the man, and congrats on somebody else getting hired and getting a new deal to another team that you said was going to happen.
May 24th. On PMS. Shout out PMS.
Shout out the program. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Yeah.
Because technically, I guess the way it could be phrased is that our show had the news, and we are licensed through ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So they still could have
definitely
taken credit.
Oh, yeah.
But no.
I mean, the memes were worth it yesterday anyways.
Dude, so many Kendrick Lamar concerts. This is Shams right now in his house or in his apartment. And everybody knows that Shams isn't going to have a hood over his head like Kendrick Lamar had ever. Or had, because he's got to have that hair.
Yeah. That bucket.
Luscious.
And those of you that don't know or haven't got a chance to see Shams without his hair like completely done, he looks so cool. He looks like he's out of a modeling magazine.
I think you might be the only one that's ever seen it.
Yeah, we faced it. Well, I made sure everybody could see what it looked like.
Shams Chalamet.
Yeah, he looks so good.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, so the NBA obviously alive and well. Any other sports happening? Oh, yeah, NHL tonight.
Right.
Stanley Cup Final game happening in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Bingo.
Okay, that is a city that loves their hockey, obviously, because it's come from Canada, but also that is a city that's barn is notoriously loud. Tonight should be a spectacle. From 7 o'clock, whenever the point starts with Levy, Mess, and PK Subban, who will join us next hour, through the game, which is going to be electrifying. Connor McDavid has started to turn things up a little bit. He's on track to break a record that Wayne Gretzky has for most points in an entire playoff run. He's at 42. Gretzky's at 47. He could potentially have 6 points tonight. That's what this dude does in games. But on the other side, Kachuk, the son of Walt, could lead the Florida Panthers to their first ever Stanley Cup up in Edmonton. And then they fly 8 hours with that thing back to South Florida, where a celebration will certainly be on the horizon in Sunrise, Florida. Tonight's an epic one. Very pumped up to watch this thing.
Yeah, juiced. And after talking to Jack Johnson, it almost feels like the assumption going into this game is like, okay, Oilers at home. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere, probably very hard to win. But then Jack Johnson kind of laid it out how it's, more so for Florida. Like, hey, these last two games kind of already had this idea of a celebration. The family came out to Edmonton for game 4, and then obviously game 5 at home. They blow it when everyone's in there. Like, this might be a bunker mentality, absolute war tonight. I'm jacked up. This is why we watch, boys. This is why we watch.
Yeah. There's some stats coming out about Stuart Skinner, who's the goalie for the Edmonton Oilers, who's only been getting more in his bag. I don't know if anybody's more in their bag than that guy right there. What you just saw there is out of a movie magic. You would think that you would have to prepare all those other people saying, like, all right, you go left, this guy's going to go right, then we'll put 3 sticks on his stick, and he's still going to go. Like, he is just phenomenal. That's in a Stanley Cup Final game. So in a must-win Stanley Cup Final game. This dude is special. That team is special. But what this Florida Panthers team has been, even through last year, is a physical, dominant team that's been able to answer and respond. This was the year that they were supposed to win the Stanley Cup after losing the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Now, Are they going to trick this thing off? Are they going to let this Edmonton Oilers team get hot? Stuart Skinner, the goalie for the Edmonton Oilers, is obviously undefeated in elimination games. They've made it to the Stanley Cup Final, but he's been standing on his head the most in these elimination games. Whenever the back is against the wall, the mustache goalie for the Edmonton Oilers has been doing everything. And not just doing it, he's been vibing while doing it, dancing, making things look easy, flying around, glove saves, and a beauty, back-to-back nights, SportsCenter Top 10. Tonight's a good one. Tonight is going to be a great one, and it's going to be a perfect Friday night.
Yeah, Connor talks about bunker mentality for Florida. Like, I think Edmonton, too, like, they had no hope, a couple days ago, and now all of a sudden you wonder, like Mess said, hey, in the playoffs, you're not really worried about the media. You have to be mentally tough, obviously. All this stuff's coming at you, but McDavid had to hear some of the stuff that people were saying. People are taking shots at him when he's going out there and playing unbelievable. You wonder if the other guys on the team weren't like, okay, like let's kind of hold the rope a little bit here for this guy because he has been absolutely unbelievable game in, game out. I know Paul Maurice said momentum isn't real. You kind of have to, but the amount of momentum that Edmonton has right now, like you wonder if they won't be able to kind of, move on. I don't know.
On that point, Jack Johnson said a lot of people can credit momentum with things. Sometimes it's just an adjustment that you make in the middle of a series, and that adjustment can change everything.
Yes.
It's like if you find who we should be attacking, how we should be attacking, maybe something on the goalie. Hey, we've learned that this is seemingly a weak spot. All you need is one or two of those adjustments. Jack Johnson, who's been in the NHL for 17 years, I think, has been a Stanley Cup champion. He said a lot of people credit things to momentum when in reality, it was just strategy, an adjustment, a change. Have the Edmonton Oilers done that? And if they have figured it out with the amount of speed, talent, and I would say gut sack that team has, maybe it is a swing from 3-0 all the way to a Game 7, and maybe tonight the Oilers stretch this thing one more game.
And I think it was McDavid after either Game 2 or Game 3 when they were down, where he was like, hey, I'm excited to see what we're made of, like what this team is all about, which is so sweet because he's your best player, but then he goes out and he has back-to-back games with 4 points in each game, and him being the Finals MVP award favorite is incredible because if this is a situation where they come all the way back and they do win, obviously he wins MVP, but does he automatically then, even with only one Stanley Cup, Mount Rushmore. He has the most points ever in the playoff, run, and he came back from 3-0, first team ever in a Stanley Cup final. Like, all of a sudden, McDavid is officially one of the greatest, not just like,
and you can have the conversation.
Yes,
you can legitimately have the conversation, as opposed to anytime you mention his name to super hockey purists, he hasn't won a cup.
No cup.
I mean, he has no cup. So let's slow down. He's fast. He's got dangles.
For sure.
Yeah, he's good. Seemingly has the perfect mindset, work ethic. He speaks. He has no cup, so let's not even get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
That is kind of what the thought has been about Connor McDavid. And then if he does win this, it's like all of a sudden Connor McDavid fans, which there are many because of how phenomenal he is at the hockey, they're like, yeah, he's got a cup. Put a team on his back, a city on his back. All of Canada is on Edmonton right now. And he's their Canadian boy. And if that beard continues to grow into a Bigfoot, Sasquatch more look, there's going to be some real merch opportunities here for this guy as soon as he gets on to Mount Rushmore as well.
Those Conn Smythe odds that were up there just a little bit ago have moved quite a bit too. Just 2 days ago, even after Game 5, he was like minus 175, minus 180. So in 2 days, they haven't played any games. He's gone to minus 350. So that's probably how much money's coming in on him to win the Conn Smythe. But as far as like momentum goes, does it? I don't know how the teams feel. Like if it's in a certain city and it's staying in that city and it's only 1 day off, momentum sure carries on. But when it's 2 days off and then you travel 8 hours all the way back to Edmonton, is the momentum? The momentum is still with the Oilers, but is it as much as it would have been if they were in the same city, only 1 day off?
Yeah, maybe this is where the 8-hour flight really
But they
changes.
they are coming home.
Maybe it cools them off, but coming home to that barn is obviously great. And you talk about that minus 350. If the Oilers were go on to lose this Stanley Cup Finals, he would become like the 6th player in the history of the NHL to win the Conn Smythe while losing the Stanley Cup Finals. This is a playoff performance award, is allegedly what it is through the entire thing. And 5 times through 4 goalies and Leach, I believe.
Reggie Leach in 1976.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in forever where a player who loses Stanley Cup wins the Conn Smythe, which was potentially going to happen in the NBA when people were talking about Luka maybe because he was having 30-point triple-doubles the first couple games in a losing effort. And then Steven Jackson from All the Smoke said if they pick Luka and they lose the title to be the Finals MVP, he said, I will hate basketball. I will bury basketball. If he was to win this, and they go on to lose tonight, I think people would still be like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, should have won.
Yeah, it makes sense. Even though it has only happened 5 times in the history of hockey. 4 goaltenders, goalies who have stood on their head. I'd assume they lose 4 games, 1-0 or 2-1 or something like that. And these goalies win the Conn Smythe. And then Leach in 1976. But look at those years, 66, 68, 87. 2003 obviously is in the 21st century, but 21 years ago. And then 1976 hasn't happened in recent history. And if the Florida Panthers win tonight, Connor McDavid's going to win it, and it'll be the 6th time, and it's for good reason.
And the big difference is that a lot of just people don't know is the Conn Smythe is the entire playoffs versus the basketball conference finals with Luka. That would have been just that finals or whatever. But the Conn Smythe, if he goes out and he's top 2, top 3 all time in points all time, and they go to Game 6 or Game 7 and they lose, yeah, I can see it happen.
Yeah, good luck to all the boys out there. Kachuk's friend of the program, so obviously.
Hey. Plus 4,000 for Tkachuk. He rings in a hat trick today.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't hate that at all.
Maybe.
He's been picking it up. Last game, goal and assist. McDavid had 2 goals, 2 assists. I mean, it was like them where they were battling. You're going to have to wake up a little bit more, though, obviously. Football has some stuff going on. The Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Lafayette. They have the cheapest beer in any sports park.
Mm-hmm.
$2, Natty Light cans.
Legends.
Promoting it, too. Pete Thamel broke the news saying...
So if we could get it... okay, there we go. Sources close to the situation tell ESPN that UL students can enjoy a natural light can for $2. Live on in the petty college sports never change. Ha 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 ha.
See, I like that Pete Thamel found a good joke in that because yesterday we learned that Tennessee is charging $13 a beer, which is the most expensive in all of college football. And Louisiana Lafayette comes out and says, $2, come get it as you can. Natty Light cans. Might be cold, might be warm, whatever the case, it's $2. You do what you got to do. That's got to be the cheapest drink in any stadium, arena, anywhere at this standpoint of it.
Yeah, that's why I worry this is going to be a 1-week thing because that first week
it's hot down there too.
Hot in that first week. I don't know what they do because obviously the beer snake's a thing, and with cans, I don't know how it works. But those Raging Cajun fans are going to drink a million natural lights, and they're going to be like, "All right, it got too rowdy in here. We can't do this anymore."
Let's stay in the college football world. Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart are in the middle of a little bit of a battle with their bosses. I don't know exactly who the bosses are. Is that athletic directors? Is that presidents? Is that commissioners? Is that we don't know who it is? But at a meeting earlier this week, Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart heard out a potential layout of eliminating walk-ons from college football teams. And Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart were the leaders, I guess, ringleaders, are saying, if this is a money thing, you can take money out of our contracts to pay for these walk-ons to come on the team. Never hear anybody at those positions say anything like that and actually mean it. And I think sources have told us that both Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin 100% serious. If it's a money issue for walk-ons, we would love to be the ones that help foot the bill in this entire thing because of the importance of walk-ons in football. Obviously, Kirby Smart played football in college, had a pick on Peyton Manning. I think 2 of them in the time in which Georgia played Tennessee. So you're talking about a guy who's been in the locker room, understands the importance of walk-ons, understands what walk-ons mean to college football. Then Lane Kiffin has gone on and told stories about guys who have been walk-ons and then become stars on their team and then making it to the NFL, let alone the walk-ons that come in there and do the drills that guys don't want to do just so that they can help and support the team and be a part of the team. The fact that there's a thought that we need to eliminate walk-ons from big-time college football is so stupid. And it also makes me believe that the people making a lot of these decisions don't know ball. Mm-hmm. And if we got people who don't know ball making decisions in this transition era of college football, we need to figure that out. We need to cut that out, and we need to preserve this sport and make this sport as great as it possibly can be while transitioning with people that understand what the hell's going on in locker rooms, in sport, in football as a whole. And I stand firmly on the side of Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart, and I appreciate the fact that two of the most famous coaches in sports now, that Coach Saban's out and everything, Kirby Smart's the next, right? Let's talk about it.
Yep.
Are the ones taking such an issue with this is a good thing, and hopefully we'll be able to change this around. I didn't know this was potentially a thing until earlier this week. What a bunch of bullshit. Why would you even think about walk-ons are football lovers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying ball lovers.
More than anybody.
Football lovers. You're talking about D3 offensive linemen. Just they're cleaning their own pads, cleaning their own uniforms so they can show up and practice every single day. They love ball. They want to continue to play ball. Walk-ons love football. Walk-ons also are a massive piece of the chemistry and culture in the locker room. Walk-ons, whenever they make it and get scholarship, are enjoyable moments for the entire team, life lessons for the entire team. Walk-ons can inevitably be the reason why your team wins or your team loses, and the people that seemingly are making the decision have no idea about that being the case.
No, and my only question is, what do walk-ons hurt? Like, you got to add a few more lockers to your $80 million facility? Like, is that the issue here? That walk-on, you got to supply a little more food in the cafeteria for the walk-ons? Like, walk-ons do nothing.
This is just stupid.
Wrong. It's ridiculous in college football.
But I appreciate the fact that Lane Kiffin and Kirby were like, this is so dumb. And, we're all going to come together and say this is stupid, right, as we move forward, because we've had to craft a team together, put a team together. We've been here. We've done that. These people who have never gone have no idea what this means in team building and team chemistry, in future and dreams. And some people blossom late and have dreams and bet on themselves and end up hitting and going for good. Whatever the case, we need dumb people out of decision-making positions. We need smart people to continue to tell us what the hell is going on around these leagues. Joining us now, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Michigan man, and a dude who had his own day of celebration in Nassau County yesterday. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yeah, Schefter. Nice to be with you guys. How we doing?
What you get, a key? Did you get a key? What you get, a paper? What you get?
You know, they gave me this little chip that says that you put this down at any bar in my area and you don't have to pay for any drinks ever. Now, I don't know if that's true or real, but that's what they gave me.
You got like a challenge coin from Nassau County? It's like...
Yeah, that's what they say. Now, I got to test this out. Now, I'm not a big drinker anyway. There's my daughter. That was honestly the cool part.
Standing right in the way, obviously. Cameraman.
Get out of the way now, okay? Anyway, that was the cool part. Bringing my daughter along and just having her sit in the county commissioner's office and listening to him and the judges. You want to hear the great part about this? See the county commissioner over my shoulder right there, right? I didn't know this till afterwards. Somebody came home. We were talking about his family and his second wife and his children. Do you know his first wife? Do you know who his first wife is married to?
Who?
Paul McCartney.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, hey, wow. Good for her.
What a road.
And obviously, Paul McCartney is no stranger to divorce. Let's assume that's not going to happen ever again. But congratulations to both of them, seemingly doing great post-divorce. Yeah. And, sometimes you're just better off away from each other. Sometimes time runs out, and then you go and marry a Beatle. That's certainly a story. I'm sure that guy appreciated the conversation if you had it with him. But congrats on this. You've certainly earned it and deserve it for all of your hard work. Let's talk some NFL news now, okay, shall we? Brandon Ayuk on his own TikTok, while he is blogging an entire offseason, I guess, of conversation about contract with the San Francisco 49ers. He literally says they don't want me back while talking to Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels then starts screaming, so now everybody's like, well, he's going to be a commander all of a sudden. Brandon Ayuk is friends with the rookie quarterback that was just drafted because their time at Arizona State. He told them that he's no longer in Niners. Jaden Daniels, as a rookie quarterback who hasn't played a game yet, has enough pull to say, hey, we need to go get Ayuk. Maybe that's the case. What's happening over there? Obviously an incredible ball player. We'd love to have him here in Indianapolis. Obviously the Commanders would love to have him. I'm sure there's like 30 other teams that would love to have him. How's this end up, and how did we get here, Schefty?
Well, I think what happened here is, let me state for the record that the 49ers absolutely do want Brandon Ayuk back, despite what he says, but they don't want him back, as he thinks, at the price that he's seeking. And so that's where the breakdown occurs at this point in time. They've had contract talks throughout the offseason, and at one point it seemed like they were closing in on a deal only to see the wide receiver market explode. We've seen Jalen Waddle come in with a very strong deal that averages about $28 million guaranteed, or $28 million a year with a lot of guaranteed money. Justin Jefferson comes in at 35. And I think once some of these wide receiver deals started getting done, the Eagles did both their receivers, I think the number might have shifted in Brandon Ayuk's mind. But the Niners have always wanted him back. There have been conversations at various points with other teams where they asked if he were available. The Niners never were serious about trading him, and they want him back. But the problem is they can't get a deal done right now. So Brandon Ayuk is interpreting that as they don't want me anymore. No, they want him here. They just don't want him at the number that he wants to be there at, with what the wide receivers are going for in this day and age. And yes, everybody knows he played with Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. At one point, prior to the draft, the Commanders, Niners had some discussions that never went anywhere about a potential trade. And the Niners wanted to hold on to him, and they still want to hold on to him. And they're not looking to deal him. Now, could his stance, his public comments, the lack of any contract talks in recent days, weeks, influence their decision later on? Sure. But this is a team that is trying to win a Super Bowl. They're not trying to move on from Brandon Ayuk. And we see what the Bengals are doing with T. Higgins. He's not going to get a long-term deal done there, but they're going to hold on to him this season, and he'll become a free agent after the year. And I think it's a similar situation where the Niners aren't looking to move on from Brandon Ayuk. They do want him there, but there's a disconnect on the price that he believes and they believe he should be paid for this upcoming season.
In T. Higgins' vlog, we saw him basically understand that he's going to be with the Bengals for 1 year. Like it was almost like he acknowledged, like, I'm going to be there for 1 year. This is how the Bengals operate. This is how the Bengals operate. But I assume Ayuk is thinking to himself, everybody's getting paid around me in San Francisco, but me. So I think he has a little different view on, like, yeah, this is going to be my last year. I'm going to play out this franchise tag, and then I'm going to move on and go somewhere else. It's an interesting.
Well, he's not on the franchise tag.
No, I'm sorry. Last year on his contract. Sorry, last year.
Right. And by the way, they could tag him after this year. And what's the franchise tag? 22. So he's in a little bit of a tougher position here. And by the way, like, if you're the Niners, you're not just going to let Brandon Ayuk walk out the door without tagging him and having some say in getting something back for him.
This is one of those situations where we're all reminded that, like, in a lot of people's minds, the NFL, the NBA definitely, player-driven league. It's like, this is one of those situations where it's like, nah, San Francisco 49ers hold all the cards here.
Bingo.
They hold all the cards right here. And that sucks for Ayuk, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Well, when you've got a year left in your contract and the team has its franchise tag at its disposal.
2 franchise tags, remember? You go back to back. You can't franchise tag somebody 3 times.
Right.
You can franchise tag them 2 times. That's what Lamar Jackson conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So they got 3 years of Brandon Ayuk right now.
Right, and I'd have to add up the franchise tag for 2 years and what it would be, but I'll bet you it's less than what they're offering right now.
What is it? It's 25% more than what you made the year before, or if the average of the top 5 at your position has changed enough for it to go up.
I'm going to go. I think the franchise tag for T. Higgins this year is what, 21.8. So you have to figure that's going to go up next year. I'd have to make some calls, and I don't have that information ready to tip of my fingertips. But
Chase deal, CD deal, those
Michael
top
Pittman's
5.
up at 27.
Pittman,
yeah, like everybody's going up. So you would assume.
So let's say the franchise tag number is 24, 25 next year. I'm guessing off the top of my head.
Yeah,
26.
It's still not going to be the number that he wants it to get to. And then they'll be able to franchise tag him again the next year. I wonder if Ayuk knows that, because I'm just realizing that. I didn't know.
He knows it. He knows it, but this is his time right now to make noise, to create an issue.
I hope he gets a deal done.
Right?
Get to New England, brother.
I hope he gets to Indianapolis. Called make more noise.
Well,
no, I'm joking.
By the way, at this time a couple of years ago, I do believe Deebo Samuel stated that he wanted to be traded. He wasn't going to play in San Francisco again, right? So you can do and say whatever you want at this time of the year. Let's see what happens when everybody's reporting to camp and training camp's underway.
What was that? That was a FaceTime he was on. Was it him that said, or somebody else? The other person? I think it was the other person on the FaceTime.
Yeah.
But he was certainly associated with it. And I think it was AJ.
AJ
Brown was on that face. Yeah, there's been a lot of noise out of the Niners team. And somehow, when the season gets back together, I mean, even if you got a quarterback working out on a third field during training camp, somehow whenever they get on the field, they still go and play great. Success brings money for everybody, but not necessarily at the team that you're at. Hopefully they're able to figure out Ayuk, or if not, come right here to the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, hold on. Wait, but before we move on from that, every team that has any sort of wide receiver question/need would want Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, yes.
Every one of them.
Yep.
Okay. But why would the 49ers, who are vying for a Super Bowl title, move on from a guy like Brandon Ayuk right now to get a draft pick in 2025 when they could tag him after the year and conceivably trade him at that point and get his services this year at a relatively cap-friendly deal? Like, That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, we want him at the Colts at a cap-friendly deal, and we let him know. We'll pick up the contract, and then we'll pay about $24 million next year. It'll be a one-year deal. You'll be forced to sign it, and then next year, 28 is pretty good, and then you'll be able to be a free agency. That's literally the world that Ayuk's in. I hope they figure it out before the season happens. Now, last question here that's kind of all-encompassing, Mr. Schefter. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Shefty. Tom Pelissero said on Rich Eisen, talking about the possibility of a kind of quarterback cap on their own, and that is very similar to the situation in 1994 with the whole quarterback club thing. With the contracts that are happening, and then also the ones that are coming in soon, allegedly with Dak, Tua, Jordan Love, some of those guys. Is there a way where this does head towards a place along the salary cap where it is quarterbacks on their own and then everybody else? Is that something that could happen, or what do you hear?
I'm confused. Are you saying that quarterback deals would be capped?
No, like they would have their own cap.
Yeah, like it would be separate from the salary cap.
Yes.
It'd be like a max contract, okay? This is something that I've kind of chatted about since the new CBA, because the new CBA upped the amount of money. Obviously, money's going up, right. But all that means is a bigger contract for quarterbacks, and then kind of the middle tier is kind of getting eliminated because the rookies are $400,000 cheaper on their min versus the vet min, which is like $800,000. So there has to become a time, this was like years ago I said this, where the quarterbacks are just kind of taken out of the salary cap. They have their own thing. Now, how would that get handled? How would that be? And then are we creating a quarterback club all again like it's 1994 when all the big name quarterbacks kind of had their own agreement? They got their own video game, their own merch, their own deals. Like, are we eyeing that down? Is there a chance that takes place with the percentage of the salary cap that these quarterback contracts are becoming?
I just think quarterbacks have always been in that category where they're on their own, where they're getting the predominant part of the salary cap. Teams have understood it. They're the most important players in the sport. I can make the argument they're the most important players in any sport. And they've always gotten the lion's share of the salary cap, and they always will. It's hard to imagine that you'd branch off and create a separate salary cap for the quarterbacks. But we also are entering a period where there could be a whole lot of change with the NFL pushing and wanting an 18-game regular season schedule with the expansion of international games. So I think there's a lot of things that could come into play, but I haven't heard anything about a quarterback salary cap on their own. Like that would be outside the box to me. Now, I will say this. When the league created the franchise tag, that was done in the early 1990s. And at that time, I was a newspaper reporter for the Denver Broncos, and one of the people behind that idea was Pat Bowlen, and the franchise tag was created solely to keep players like John Elway in Denver, Dan Marino in Miami, and then over time, it evolved into a weapon for teams that all of a sudden they're using that franchise tag on a player like T. Higgins or a cornerback or an edge rusher. And that was never the original intent of the franchise tag. And now there's franchise tags, transition tags, they use on other players. The original idea was to keep a franchise player, a true franchise player, in his city for a long period of time. And it's evolved into a weapon, another weapon, for the owners to use on any player that they don't want to lose. So this also could be introduced into discussions in the next CBA talks if that was something that the PA wanted to address.
I was franchise tagged as a punter for the Indianapolis Colts, and
and that was not supposed to happen. That is against the spirit of what the tag was for.
Second best jersey sales. So you tell me. You tell me the entire thing. But you're right though. And then back in the day, they could do it just forever too. I think Vinatieri got franchise tagged like 3 years straight, and then they put a limit on the new CBA. It's like a tax. If the government introduces a tax and they're getting money, they're never going to turn it off. If the NFL introduces a way for the owners to have more power and for you to avoid free agency, they're never going to turn it off. I'm excited to see what the franchise tag is in the future, and I'm excited to see how we divvy up the salary cap and who will be the first quarterback to say, I don't need to break the record. Let's go ahead and build a team. We shall see. Schefter, we appreciate the hell out of you. Congrats on your celebration yesterday.
Congratulations on the Celtics to Connor there.
Thank you very much, Shefty. Thank you. It's finally home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter. We appreciate you, Schefter. You're the absolute man. NFL is always cooking.
Yes, it is.
Franchise tag, what a thing.
Kings
I was happy because I became a millionaire.
Yeah.
But I was paid nowhere near my proper value. Everybody else was very pissed for that second part I said. We'll see you in the next hour. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice.
Thank goodness I didn't think about it too long. I was just like,
Boom. Boom. Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right. I can hit that if you need it. No worries.
I'm glad I didn't think about it too much.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, went right. Oh my goodness, what's going on over there?
What the fuck is that?
It's like what's security like around here?
What the hell is this?
I have been sent here to end your show.
What the hell is this?
What is that?
How the hell are you going to end?
Oh, they're saying we have no power, but everything just went dark.
I just sent out an EMP and cut all your power.
What the fuck? What is an EMP? Jack, what's an EMP?
Yeah, it's an energy weapon. It can take out this entire broadcast.
An energy weapon? What? This little piece of shit? Somebody sent you, you said?
Yes.
Who could have sent it? That's got to be Marchand, right? I mean, you think that would be Marchand?
Could be. I mean, the Atlantic.
Fauci.
Oh, maybe.
Could have been Wazoo.
Oh, Washington State football does have a reason to hate it.
WNBA, maybe?
Sean Hannity, I think. Do you know Sean?
I'll text him, see what I can do.
Yeah, wait. Do you think Sean Hannity sent a... No.
Mike Wilbon, maybe?
It could have been awful announcing, but they'd have to steal someone else's technology.
Who sent you, Bump? Who?
I mean, Bill Simmons?
Bill has had quite an accident.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Boy, it's Arthur I. Official.
No.
Holy shit. Is that...
Identity confirmed. In 45 seconds, I will deploy an EMP that will end this entire show.
No. We can't have that be happening. No. This is how we make a living. We got kids. Come on. We got a house. We got this entire thing. Get the hell out of here.
Well, what's gonna happen? Is that bum Jack Carr gonna do anything?
Oh, my God. Why are you running your mouth to Jack Carr, you fucking idiot? Get it, Jack! Get it, Jack! Jack Carr! Jack Carr! Jack Carr! Jack Carr! Jack Carr! Jack Carr! Fuck you, drone! Yeah! Thank you, Jack!
So there you have it, folks. An asshole drone came and attacked our program. And once again, American hero Jack Carr saved our program. His newest book, Red Sky Morning, is available now. It is the 7th in the Terminal List series, and we will be buying it as a thank you because he saved our souls.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, why? Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, June 21st, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports are awesome. We're lucky to talk about sports every single day. Yesterday, thank God, Jack Carr came through here and saved our life. He saved our program, saved our show. We had no idea what was happening, but Jack Carr made it all happen, and that's what Jack Carr does. The 7th book in his Terminal List series is available now, called Red Sky Morning. Kenny Chesney was stopped by yesterday. He's on tour right now, coming to a city near you. You should go check it out. Obviously, a Kenny Chesney concert is a good time, even if it's 95 degrees with 100% humidity at 9 p.m. in the evening, somehow like it's Indianapolis, Indiana football.
Hell yeah, baby.
That's how it goes. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Sweet shirt there, Con Man.
Thank you. Yeah, I just figured, I didn't want to mark out in front of Michael Cole, so I figured, I'll wear this one today. Very nice one, and also it's kind of a champion shirt, and because the parade's today, I figured I'd wear my best.
Yeah, congrats to the Boston Celtics and the entire city of Boston, which I believe has shown up. Yeah, the videos that are coming out of Boston are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, they're saying this is the biggest parade ever just because Friday, of course, and then no school. All public schools canceled their school today, which was the last day of school either way. So it's kind of like a kickoff to summer. The Celtics
You guys are still in school this late in the year?
Well, you know how it works now post that thing in 2020. But again, yeah, because of that, it is the Celtics kind of getting every kid in Massachusetts, probably New England, a free day of summer to go celebrate the boys.
Well, congratulations to the city of Boston. I know it's been 5 long years.
Terrible years.
Since you guys have gotten the opportunity to go downtown and just shut it down and celebrate. Are those the duck boats? That looks like a garbage.
Is that a dumpster?
That looks like a garbage truck.
Those are some of the duck boats. Yeah, you guys probably wouldn't recognize them just because there hasn't been championships in your cities in decades. But,
that looks like a dumpster.
We don't ride a dumpster.
Yeah, okay. Let's put the Boston Celtics, the new champs, in the back of a dumpster truck.
No, I mean, I don't know which one that is. Again, there's a duck boat right there in the front. That one might have been a dumpster truck. I am not sure, but I do know that right there, boom. That is a aquatic vehicle. Yeah, that one, that's a semi. That is not a duck boat.
That's a smart idea right there. You put a stage on the back of that thing, actually, and start moving that around town and save a company maybe $250,000.
Yeah, around there.
Every single time you do a live show.
There's that aquatic vehicle. That thing is going to enter into
I can
the
see how that would suck, though, because the roof, everybody wants to kind of be standing at the top. So the duck boat's kind of not perfect for the parade. Maybe the dumpsters are the perfect thing for the parade.
For the NFL, I would agree. For basketball, it's perfect because you put the players up top, and then like all of that area on the bottom, family, friends, all those people, they can still ride in said duck boat. But
yeah, but they're like sticking out of a convertible roof in a car right now, like in an SUV when you're all boozed up, or you're like, I want to feel the wind, and then you sit up on the middle console and you stand and you're out there, and all of a sudden the brakes hit, and you're like, they're in a kind of a. That's not necessarily. I mean, look at the front; they're getting jammed in.
Oh yeah,
you guys are getting wedged in there.
Yeah, they're packed in. I mean, hey, that's Boston Celtics parade football, baby.
You guys are comfortable with parades. I mean, you've done it. You've been there, done that. Who am I to talk about this? I mean, I thought
it's okay.
Pacers were going to bring one here to Indianapolis.
Yeah, no. At some point within your lifetime, they will. I mean, the next 10 years looks just like that. You should just take a long look at that duck boat because you're going to see that next year. And
the green out the top of it.
Yeah, all the green.
But wait till the Fever win.
Oh, when the Fever wins,
Fever about to win this whole thing.
They are
this
hot.
place is going to burn to the ground.
They figured it out. One half. You're right. We'll move along. One half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys. Tone Diggs is here. Tone, whenever you see a city like this celebrating, you can't help but say to yourself, you know what? Sports are the best.
They are the best.
The entire city is downtown. It is a reason to come together, a reason to gather, a reason to be joyful, a reason to say our town, our place, our area is better than everybody else. We need more of that. We need more unification of towns and cities and of people. And this celebration in Boston is obviously a beautiful one, and they're no strangers to this shit, obviously. Nope. And that is quite a bummer. But I do see pure joy in every parade.
Yeah, my brain is in a pickle jar, and I'm not an octopus, so I don't know how to get out of this one because, I am. It makes me celebrate sports, okay? But it's been 8 long years since I got to attend one of these parades. And
jeez, nightmares.
I know. It just makes you like
8.
It kind of pisses me off, but also it just makes you want it so much more. But yes, like when fans of a city get to celebrate something like this, especially in the summer, like when the weather's nice. Like I can't even imagine the day that the Bostonians are having
many
today.
burnt Irish people downtown. Boston today.
If you're aloe vera, you gotta have a tent somewhere because you would move 1 trillion bottles today.
Okay, we got people that are translucently skinned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, celebrating a parade.
Wearing basketball jerseys.
In the middle of a heat wave across the country. Let's go ahead and get some lotion up there.
Yeah, well, they'd sell so many. But again, they don't even care. Boston wants to be sunburned today. I assume there's some people that are going to be biting curbs just so they can look like Derek White.
Well, I hope there's no curb stomping, obviously. And Derek White got some fresh teeth from what I've been told.
I mean, he got teeth. I don't know how fresh they are. He has teeth.
He got a fresh
set.
I think those might be temporary. I think you might have to go back into the lab there.
Everything's temporary, including our existence. So we need to enjoy the moment that we have, which is exactly what they are doing in Boston. Joining us now is a man who was not a part of a parade, but he was certainly a part of a Super Bowl celebration and a college football celebration after he won the national championship. The former president of Ohio, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. We're happy for Boston, aren't we, AJ?
Yeah, super happy for Boston, man. I mean,
thank you.
Con Man might not be that far off, man. We might be watching this for many times over the next 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, our only hope, and by hope, I don't want it to happen because it would certainly stink, but for any fans of any other team, seemingly, after what we just watched through that playoff run with everybody on the court that played returning somehow.
Yep.
We need them to start hating each other. Everything that the sports media was trying to do during this entire playoff run, we need to start taking place. I was here in Indiana whenever the Heatles existed, and this Pacers team was on quite a run. They had Paul George, George Hill, Roy Hibbert, Lance Stevenson. I mean, it was a fantastic team to watch. They were selling out. We're making the Eastern Conference Finals. We're making the playoffs. It was good. And something happened. And the team just didn't like each other anymore.
Yeah.
The team was just not a team anymore for whatever reason. And all the parts get traded away. Everybody kind of leaves. Larry Bird was around. He's no longer. It was like an entire rebuild of a franchise had to take place because something happened with the team. And it might have just been they got sick of each other. It might have been success. Who's the blame? Who is the person? It's like that seemingly is the only thing that could break up this Celtics team, who have more talent. They have a coach who is a super genius, and he's very young and under contract for a long time. They got superstars that can keep up with anybody else's superstars. They're marquee. They got a city that is behind them and knows basketball. It's like the only thing that all these other teams can hope for is that there's division within, that the enemy happens within their own camp. And I think Joe Mazzulla would tap out anybody that tries to make it. So I don't know if that's possible, and that sucks for everybody, but it's got to be great for freaking Boston Celtics fans.
Oh, man, it is so cool. And I'm just now seeing the sign on the duck boat, "We print champions." That's incredible. But, yeah, Joe Mazzulla, I mean, that whole Derek White quote when he won, Coach of the Month or whatever, Eastern Coach of the Month, whatever the hell it is, and he said, hey, nobody cares. Like, that is the thing with all the players. I feel like that kind of leaks down. Like, if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both have unbelievable months, but only one of them wins Eastern Conference Player of the Month, if your coach doesn't give a shit about that, I assume same thing goes for the players. And, I mean, we've seen that with the Finals MVP.
That is certainly not how it's always been, but you would think and hope that that's how the Celtics are. Mm-hmm. But the only wish and hope for any other team right now, as we look at it, team that won 11 straight games in through the playoffs.
80 total.
Best of 7 series. So 4, 3.
Dominant throughout.
Well, everybody was injured. Okay, we'll send to Weston.
Yep.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
send a healthy Weston. Let's see what happens here. Boom, they just beat the shit out of them. Everybody returning. That's not supposed to happen. That is not.
And you have your front office seems to all be in line with each other. They all, like, from the top down, the Celtics kind of have it rolling right now.
Everybody's rowing in the same exact direction. Their superstars don't care. They're both rich.
Well, they need to somehow, if they were to stiff Tatum on his next contract.
An Ayuk type thing.
Exactly, and pay him a little less than Jaylen Brown's making, then we might see a little bit of that division. So that might be the only way.
Let's see how good of a franchise you have, Brad.
Yeah,
let's throw a little bit of adversity in there. Mm-hmm. Let's send Jay Tatum a deal that, like the fifth guy on the bench for a team just signed for $70 million yesterday.
Exactly.
Do that to Tatum because, hey, we need to save money. We can't be getting luxury tax. Let's see how good your team is then. But instead, Tatum's going to sign a record-breaking deal.
Yep.
Brown already has a record-breaking deal.
Derek White is going to sign a contract as well.
Al Horford somehow getting younger.
Yeah, he's staying.
Peyton Pritchard's still going to be able to make long shots from the other.
Al's coming back.
Yeah, Al's coming back for another year. Drew
They can
Holiday's
keep everybody
already signed.
How are they able to keep? Yeah, Drew Holiday as well. Like, that's crazy. They can keep them all intact.
I asked Shams this. I said, so like in your guys' league, it doesn't matter. You just whatever. And he's like, well, luxury tax is a real thing, and I think like $70 million or $50 million. Like I forget what it was.
As long as your owner doesn't care, right? Wasn't it Ishba came on here? He's like, the fans don't care how much we're paying in luxury tax. Like, they're not going to say, oh yeah, we stink, but we're not paying any luxury tax. So good for you.
Yeah, the only issue with Ishbia is I don't know if they're going to win.
Exactly.
No,
the Celtics
they
are
got
winning.
a tough road ahead. It feels like for Ishbia.
Well, and think about where a lot of the money is coming from. All these playoff games. That's extra. Those are bonus home games, let alone like the most important bonus home games. Think about the merch that can be sold at these things. The tickets, obviously, can be sold at these things. The concessions that can be sold at these things. Everything business-wise is playoffs heavy in the NBA. And it's like the Celtics, if they can make it to the finals each year, it's like this thing is just, who cares about a luxury tax?
Exactly.
Let's just go ahead and we'll pay the luxury tax with our Eastern Conference Final money that we make.
Yeah.
Everything else will be benefit. It's like everybody should be trying to do that. But the reason why you can't is because egos get in the way. And this team seemingly has the egos all under control, which doesn't make any sense in 2024.
Well, and it's a little bit different, but you see like the Mets in the MLB, they had the highest luxury tax and they weren't winning. So Cohen was like, all right, not doing this again, and he got rid of a bunch of the guys that he was paying a shitload of money to. So, like, if you're winning championships, obviously you're okay with doing it, but then you start missing the playoffs or underperforming, then it's like, okay, well, we're going to blow this whole thing up because I'm not just going to piss away money just to piss away money.
Yeah, and if you're willing to spend money, your fans appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go on, is this what's the team name, owners?
It's kind of between a bunch of people, but I forget, like,
Pagliuca.
Pagliuca, and then there's a different one.
And I think their team, they own a soccer team as well, Gump. I think that particular family, the Celtics, is there Pagliucas? I think that is the name, the family's.
Yeah, Pagliuca is definitely one of them.
Grousbeck.
And I think they.
Boom.
You just barked into the microphone. Braun Breaker, shout out to you.
I believe Grousbeck was the guy.
Okay.
I thought Grousbeck was the guy who was up there talking.
Hey, that's a Pagliuca?
That's one of the. It's not.
That's
just,
a first name?
It's no.
The Google AI is telling me that Grousbeck is a majority owner.
Yeah,
and
there's not
governor of
just
the Boston Celtics.
Not just one. They have like a few that have.
Who's calling the shots?
Big stakes.
Atalanta is
Stevens.
the soccer team in the Serie A in Italy.
Is the
soccer team.
From who?
That they own.
That's the owner.
This show sucks, dude. I'm sick of it. We're moving on.
The Percassi family.
The who?
The Percassi family.
That's not the team that we're talking about. There's three people we're talking
about. The Pagliucas.
Yeah, there is. I mean, this is incredible. Really good work on us.
Banner 19.
Jack Carr shouldn't have shot that thing down.
No, he shouldn't have.
Should blow this
Thanks
place
for doing
up.
it there, Jack.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Jack Carr.
That was scary. Scary moment. For me, especially. I was sitting here. I wasn't in the dark, literally. Didn't know.
You have no idea.
Yeah. No idea.
Jack Carr's the man.
Yep.
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
100% right.
Yes, he is.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is also the man. Now, he hasn't saved us, but he certainly entertained the shit out of us. Obviously, a longtime NHL vet, a superstar, but a man who is an NHL analyst on ESPN. And the whole world has been loving his coverage both on the ice, in the arena, and in the cities in which he's been traveling to for like the last month on the road, alongside Mark Messier and Steve Levy. Ladies and gentlemen, big Jay Tatum fan, PK Subban.
Yeah, PK.
What's up, kids? What's going on?
Hey, listen, you've been on the road for like a month now. You're back up in Edmonton. You're down in South Florida. You had a chance to celebrate with Jay Tatum. We saw the tweet. You not alluding to your Jay Tatum stuff or doing that with the trophy. Massive miss. Leads me to believe that it's not you running your social media, especially with the 1,000 hashtags that you put on every single tweet that we need to stop immediately.
You saw the arm up. I had the arm up with the trophy.
Yeah.
You got to slide. Come on, there's the arm up. I did the Jay Tatum right there. Boom. There it is.
Yeah.
I got the trophy, one hand. Boom.
Hey, we're happy that you got a chance to celebrate alongside Jay Tatum. And obviously, you've been promoting that since, I think, the second round of the Eastern Conference NBA playoffs. But who does your tweets? We need to talk about it. Like, this is a conversation we need to have.
I do.
There's
them all.
no way you do those hashtags. Those hashtags are straight out of social media school where some doofus got a degree somehow and is running, yep, bingo. There it is. Some social media degree having person is like, yeah, the more hashtags you have, the better. Because the more conversations you can get in. Let's load this son of a bitch up. It's 2014.
I'm not giving up. Hey, I may have someone. I'm not giving them up. I'm not giving them up right now.
You need to tell that person. They need enough with the hashtags. They're like 10 years late on the platform. But I do appreciate and love following along with you because you're one of the most electrifying humans in all of sport. And Messier and Levy caught you sleeping on his flight back to Edmonton. And how could you not pass out or take a little snooze when you're partying with the Celtics all night one day, then you're partying with the Edmonton Oilers the other day, then you're with Snoop Dogg on the other day. You're on quite a run right now, PK.
Well, I mean, face down, guys. I mean, like, that's nose in the pillow. Like, how do you sleep like that? I don't even know how you breathe.
Well,
like, really?
Truly.
We know how.
Okay, well, yeah, I got through it. I still think that somebody moved me into that situation when I was sleeping because I was out cold. I'm not 100% sure I did that on my own. But, yes, I'll give you the full details. After the game, I ended up meeting up with Leaves and Mess, and I got the FaceTime call from my buddy and Jason Tatum at dinner, and I went down to meet him. As soon as I got there, he dropped the trophy, like, right in my hand. Literally. Like, I didn't even have a chance to grab a drink, and the trophy was in my hands. And all I could think about was two people, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Kobe's my guy. That's my guy. I had a chance to meet Kobe and get to know him. He's probably single-handedly had the biggest impact on my professional career as an athlete just because I've idolized him. But Michael Jordan, for me, I mean, watching that last dance and being able to touch that trophy, and for Jay to have done this all, you know, he has such a rich resume at such a young age at 26. Nice guy, great kid. You know, Wick Grossbeck, great people. I know him very well as well. So I was happy for the whole city of Boston. Got lots of friends and family there. But for Jason Tatum, I mean, this is just a start to an amazing career that's going to happen for him. And a lot of it has to do with how he carries himself, the way he treats people. So I'm happy for him, happy for the kid.
Yeah,
Jay Tatum.
And happy for Jay Tatum's kid, Deuce, who has one of the coolest photos of all time in that image with the confetti falling. I mean, obviously, that family we've seen grow and develop over the years, and now Tatum is a champion, and he's on a duck boat right now in Boston, where they are all incredibly inebriated, I would assume.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations to Boston on a hell of a day. Let's talk about an NHL parade that could potentially be taking place. The Florida Panthers can stop all the momentum and all the gas that is headed towards Edmonton's way, where it was 3-0, 3-1. Now it's 3-2. Back in Edmonton in Game 6. How do you see this one going? And is this going to continue to be the Connor McDavid show all the way to a Game 7 back in South Florida?
Well, if Leon Draisaitl, you know, doesn't find that elite level of his game, it's going to have to be, because I think the Florida Panthers' best players are going to get a whole lot better in Game 6. They're going to have to be. This is a must-win game for the Florida Panthers. I don't care about home ice. Everybody says this and says that. Anything can happen in this series. It's gone back and forth. But listen, you know, Edmonton wins this game and pushes to Game 7. It'll be very, very difficult to see Florida winning that game. Florida's got to get it done tonight. They've done it on the road all season. They've done it all playoff long. I think they got to get it done tonight, but I don't know if I see that happening. Connor McDavid, back-to-back 4-point nights, back-checking, you know, physical, leading the way. And then when we need a little bit of that greatness, when we have to see it, it's been phenomenal to watch the plays that he's been able to. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely disgusting. And guys, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, like, I can't put it in perspective what 2 minutes and 20 seconds is on the ice, whether you're the fastest player or the slowest player. Like, he's gassed right now. He's got nothing in the tank, and he's still able to make that play. And, you know, when everybody says, oh, you got to dig deep, this is what you train hard for, like, that goal is what that's all about. That's all training. That's all heart. That's all will. You know, it's his skill set, but that was all heart and all will for me. For me, watching that live was the best moment of the playoffs by far, and maybe the best moment that I've seen in a Stanley Cup playoff in a very, very long time, if ever. Like, watch this.
Yeah, and he's the one,
I
too.
mean, what the hell?
I mean, it's perfect for the sport. It's perfect for the McDavid legacy, as would be, obviously, a Stanley Cup title. They got to win back-to-back games, one at home tonight in Edmonton at 8 p.m. on ABC, with the points starting at 7 p.m. with Levy, PK, and Moose. We can't wait to watch that entire thing. But whenever you talk about McDavid's legacy, he's like minus 350 right now to win the Conn Smythe. He would be the sixth player in the history of the NHL to do it, losing if Florida was able to win this series, which they're up. They win tonight. They win the Stanley Cup, which seemingly seems so far away. Yeah. But all it is 3 periods of Florida Panther hockey, and they're able to hoist it. But this has become the Connor McDavid show, which I think is good for hockey, because even people that don't like hockey can watch this guy and say, damn, this is a marvel that we're watching right here. If he was to win a Conn Smythe, everybody in the hockey world would be okay with it, even if they lost the Stanley Cup, because it's only happened 5 times in the history of the NHL.
You know, I'm very, very traditional. I think that, like, the Conn Smythe Trophy should go to the winning team and the best player on that team.
Hell yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I like 1960s hockey. That's traditional hockey. They do it all the time.
That's the way I'm wired. But the way that this guy has played, there is no one on the Florida Panthers that has been more valuable to their team than Connor McDavid has been to the Edmonton Oilers in getting them to this situation right now. Like, this guy, what he's done in the playoffs, he's the best player on the ice, every game. Whether he's getting 4 points or not, he's still the best player on the ice. If guys could finish 90% of the damn chances that he gets, guys got backdoor tap-ins, they're missing nets, hitting posts, hitting legs. Like, this guy is a difference maker, and he's the greatest player on the planet right now. I would not argue that. I ain't going to go on any rant. I'm not going to be upset about it if he gets it. But for me personally, I think that the Conn Smythe should go to the winning team's best player. That's just me. That's just me.
You're not the only one that feels that way. You're not the only one that feels that way.
But he is the MVP. Hey, listen, he's the MVP of the playoffs. You're breaking Gretzky's records in the playoffs. I mean, come on, man. Like,
he's 5 points away.
What he's doing. Yeah.
He's 5 points
away. How are you going to argue that?
Tying Gretzky in points throughout an entire playoff series. If he gets 6, obviously he breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. Now, Wayne has 3 40-plus point performances throughout the playoffs. Dude's so good. He was so good at hockey. So good at hockey. And we're watching McDavid obviously dazzle in front of numbers and ratings that have been the highest that the NHL has seen ever, I think. So this is a beautiful time for hockey, and the world's best player is putting on a show. But that could all end tonight if the Florida Panthers show up. Go ahead, AJ.
PK, where do you think Bobrovsky's confidence level is right now after kind of the barrage that he's taken these last 2 games? And also, how important is it for Florida to get on the board first tonight? You don't want to give Edmonton, I would imagine, any more momentum, especially up there. We know that place will be going crazy, and try to tamp that down early.
That's a big football mindset right there. AJ just said, hey, we got to score first to keep this crowd out of it. Do you guys think that way too?
Well, Pat, you just said something, football mindset, but the mindset of the Florida Panthers since they started having success as a team, when Matthew Tkachuk got there, was we want to be hard to play against. It's hard to play that way, but we'd rather be playing that way than playing against someone playing our style. I remember him specifically saying that in the playoffs this year. Well, Florida, where is this difficult defensive style that you guys play? I haven't seen it for the past 2 games. You guys went on vacation. Like, we need to bring back this ferocious forecheck. Nobody could skate the puck through the middle. I'm watching the Rangers series. The Rangers had one game when Lafreniere was going tic-tac-toe through the neutral zone and he scored those 2 nice goals. Other than that, nobody's had access to the middle of the ice. I said at the beginning of the series, you cannot allow Connor McDavid or the Edmonton Oilers to get the middle of the ice. Their game is speed. Their transition game is quick. They got guys that can skate. And Florida's kind of, I don't want to take the credit away from Edmonton or Connor McDavid, but Florida's kind of beating themselves. It's like, guys, manage the puck. The first 3 games, every time they got the red line, they didn't have an odd man rush. Puck went behind their D. They made Edmonton come 200 feet. So in some ways, it's Edmonton playing better, and they've definitely found the confidence in their game. People talk about momentum. I don't see momentum. I see it as confidence. Edmonton's the more confident team right now. Florida, to find that confidence, they got to get back to their game. Simplify it. Get in on the forecheck. Get in on the body. Clog up the middle of the ice. Make this a dogfight. Like, you don't want to get into trading chances with Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. You're not going to win.
Confidence is a massive piece of momentum. I didn't know that the hockey world was anti-momentum. That's awesome. I didn't know that. It seems like you guys...
No.
Huh?
Like, in a game it can happen, but I don't think it transfers from game to game. I think hockey's... Yeah, I don't see that. I think it's...
Paul Maurice say he didn't believe momentum, and then there's been stats people in the football world that say, momentum's not a real thing. Let's tell you what's real. On 3rd and 7s, 62% of the time, this is what happens or whatever. So then when we heard Paul Maurice say it, and then I believe Jack Johnson, we were talking to him yesterday, he was like, some people credit momentum when actually it was just an adjustment that was made that has changed the way a team is playing or whatever. So it was like, I didn't know if all of hockey hated momentum and didn't think it was real, and if that's what you guys have been selling yourselves.
So, Pat,
because it is.
Hold on.
I mean, you guys are wrong completely. But, I mean,
you just said one key thing, Pat.
Okay.
The changes, right?
Well, Jack Johnson said that.
By way. Okay. Yeah.
Stanley Cup champion.
100%. Jack Johnson. Love Jack Johnson. Respect the hell out of him. Stanley Cup champion is right, and that's one of Sid's boys too. That's one of Sid's old homies. I will say this.
It's AJ's brother-in-law.
Paul Maurice.
That's AJ's brother-in-law.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, God.
So Paul Maurice hasn't played one card yet. He's going to be playing Barkov and Forsling. I'd be shocked if those guys get off the ice tonight. Like, those guys are going to be playing some big minutes tonight. He knows they got to end this thing here tonight. He doesn't want to see it in Game 7. Connor McDavid in one game to win the Stanley Cup. That's what you want to leave it to? You're nuts. I am not leaving it to one game. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Forsling and Barkov do not leave the ice tonight.
Okay.
Those guys are gonna play some real big minutes. And if you noticed, he hasn't really been double shifting them too much. Connor McDavid played 24 minutes. He's gonna get on the ice a ton tonight. So you gotta have your best players. And both teams are riding with their best players tonight. You better believe it.
Let's do some triple shifts, boys.
Yeah.
Let's do some triple shifts. You want Stanley Cup or do you not? And then back to AJ's question about Bob getting back from the barrage that he's taken over. Is there I know confidence and momentum and, you guys view it however you want. Is he done? Is Bob going to be okay? What are we?
Well, he's a two-time Vezina winner. He has led his team. In my opinion, if they win and someone's going to win the Conn Smythe from Florida, it's going to be him. If there's a goaltender that's left in the playoffs right now that I trust, I'm trusting Sergei Bobrovsky to bounce back and have one of his best games. Okay. So he has to. I think that the last two games have been tough. He hasn't been bad. He's made some really good saves. I mean, the 8-1 game's not his fault. No one played any defense in that game. Any real defense anyway. So, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to come out and have a great game tonight. If Florida loses tonight, it's not going to be because Sergei Bobrovsky had a bad game. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. This guy's played phenomenal. I'm confident that he'll show up today and have a really, really good game and make it difficult on the Edmonton Oilers. That's for sure. He's going to give his team a chance to win tonight.
Okay,
no doubt.
Perfect. Let's go to the other end. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, PK, obviously as a Bruins fan, I know what Bob can do, but when we're talking about kind of the greatness under pressure, Stu Skinner, I believe, is 9-0 in games from Game 5, 6, and 7 throughout the playoffs. I think his goals against is like 1.5. How important is that for the Oilers? And I believe their coach also said, hey, under these high-pressure situations, Stu Skinner is our best player. Obviously, McDavid is McDavid, but how important is it for him to be able to live up to that moment? And what do you think his mindset is, obviously, because they have had these couple games where he's been hot? I mean, that started out the game for him last game.
I hope Stuart Skinner's family and friends are all watching this when I say this. Sergei Bobrovsky was the best player, best goaltender in the first 3 games of this series. Stuart Skinner, which Connor McDavid has played so well that nobody has really spoken enough about Stuart Skinner and how he's played the last 2 games and how he's going to play today. He has been remarkable. He's done more than just give his team a chance to win games. He's giving his team a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And that's the way he's got to be looked upon. No more of this, I don't know about Stuart Skinner. This guy's done it. He's helped drag them back to Alberta. He deserves just as much credit as Connor McDavid does, as anybody does on the Edmonton Oilers. He has been phenomenal. And it's not just all the all-around saves. That record is reflective of timely saves. He's making big saves at big moments. That one on Aaron Ekblad, that would have changed the whole look of the game. That was early on. That was in the first couple minutes. I remember that. Edmonton couldn't get out of their zone. 2 icings. McDavid hadn't even touched the puck yet, which was a problem for me. Coach Knobloch, get McDavid on the ice within the first couple minutes. He's waiting too long. McDavid wasn't on the ice. Yeah, get him on the ice. Anyway, Stuart Skinner made that huge save on Ekblad. The other one through the screen. The saves that he's made have been elite. So he's playing elite hockey right now, but he deserves it. I mean, I couldn't be happier for that guy with the up and down season and everything in net in Edmonton. But man, he's putting all the haters to bed right here in the finals on the biggest stage. Look at that stage.
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
Hey, PK, is there something in hockey that you could just tell when a guy's in the zone? Because I've mentioned this a few times, but I haven't talked to anybody that's actually on the ice. He made a massive save. I forget which one it was. It was huge the other day. And then they put a picture up of him with his mustache, and I didn't know he looked the way he looked. He looks awesome. He looks exactly how you would hope that this guy looks underneath the mask. And then they showed him before a face-off, and he was down in his crouch position, like this with his head down, and he was really just bobbing to the music and dancing. And normally whenever you see a goalie, they're just so locked in or whatever.
Yep.
It was oh, this guy is this guy's in his zone. This guy, and you know that when you're on the other team. And as a teammate of that, you know, like, oh, okay, old buddy is seeing the puck pretty good right now. Is that something that everybody on the ice recognizes whenever you see that type of shit?
100%. And when I look at a guy like him, I don't think of momentum. Like, this is not momentum. Momentum doesn't allow you to see the puck like a beach ball. Okay? The pucks are coming at him like beach balls right now. And that's because of confidence. So the difference is when you're not confident, that puck can feel this big. It can feel that, like, it's hard to see. Everything is like through a screen. Everything's when you're confident, it's like a beach ball, man. You see every puck coming. He's like picking cherries, right? He's in the right position all the time. He's fluid in his movement. You can see that he's tracking the puck. He's reading the plays. He knows where to be. So he's on his game. He's sharp, but that's confidence. That's goaltending. Goaltending is hot and cold. You're seeing a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky, who's maybe going through a little bit of ups and downs right now. Some of it may not all be on him. It's the guys around him. But for Stuart Skinner, it's all confidence right now, and the puck definitely looks like a beach ball.
Yeah, definitely not momentum. No, not momentum. Yeah,
nope.
It's confidence.
It's like, hey, I'm not hot. I'm just sweating.
Okay.
You know?
Got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Because basketball players, you know, whenever they hit one and people are like, let's get the ball back to that guy. And then he hits another one. That's not momentum.
No.
No, that's just him confident from having success the one before that makes the outcome more likely to be better the next time.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be the definition?
No. It's like, hey, I'm not tired. I'm sleepy. You know?
Okay.
See how this is.
I didn't know you hockey people hated momentum.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was the that's why that's development. That is because hockey is a game of of runs.
The ice is tilted.
Of momentum, and especially with goalies. I mean, the goalies get like it is crazy.
Okay, so let me give you a quick scenario, right?
Please do.
Connor McDavid.
I'm gonna close my eyes. Everybody, close their eyes.
Hold
Let's get
on.
this scenario. Let's close our eyes. We would like to take ourselves to scenario.
Right. Connor McDavid gets the puck, goes end to end once. Next shift comes out, goes end to end 2 times, right? 3 times.
Twice in one shift.
Yeah, because it's a 2 minute and 20-second shift or
different shifts.
Okay.
He keeps doing it over and over again, right? So now Aaron Ekblad gets annoyed, comes on the ice, and Connor's got his head down, hammers him, puts him into the middle of the next week, right?
Hit.
Connor's feeling the hit. He's a little bit buzzed, but he's fine. Gets up, goes to the bench.
Is there a penalty?
The next time Connor McDavid,
they might get in his face for hitting Connor McDavid.
Hold on, let me
We got
finish.
any goons out there?
Let me finish. The next time Connor McDavid picks up that puck in his zone to go end to end, and he beats that first guy, he's stinking. He's lost a little bit of confidence because he knows he's got to keep his head up. So hockey, as much as there's momentum at times, that momentum changes so quickly into confidence. Guys can lose confidence so quickly in the game because there's a physical component. I'm serious. There's a tactical component. I know for me, if a player I watch is dancing up and down the middle of the ice, I'm thinking I got to erode his confidence. Whether I get in his kitchen after whistles, whether I hit him when he's head down, whether I can catch him, put a body on him. Players lose confidence when you impose your physical will on them. So I don't want to hear about momentum. Momentum doesn't exist in our game because it can be stopped by putting somebody in the middle of next week.
Well, then momentum would swing in a different direction. So then that would be momentum going the other way.
You take it back.
Yeah, you just took momentum. Yeah, you stopped momentum. Hey, we got to put the fire out. That we need to stop.
Don't take the power out of my hands, okay? Momentum doesn't exist. It's confidence. I want to eat your heart. I want to rip it out.
Well,
and that's what I'm going to do.
What's confidence then? Let's talk about what confidence. Let's get into that. What's that?
Well, I just told you got no confidence if I rip your heart out.
Yeah, but what I have is confidence tangible? Is that something that's tangible?
Confidence is knowing that you can do whatever you want to do when you need to do it. Stuart Skinner feels that he can do whatever he needs to do to stop the puck. Don't tell me that. It's not the same.
It is. Don't do it. This is PK's Austin Rivers NHL or NBA NFL thing.
Yeah, or his Mighty Ducks club.
Boom, yeah, Mighty Ducks.
Any of the stuff that basically. Have you ever met Austin Rivers? You guys ever hang out?
I know his brother Jeremiah. I think I may have met Austin once or twice, but I don't think we've had a chance to truly kick it. So
you guys should do a podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you guys should do a podcast together. You guys should do a show together.
Really?
Yeah, personally, I believe that you two should do a show together. I mean, we're talking.
Really?
Yeah.
I love when he comes on. He does a great job. He jams you guys up pretty good, too. I like it.
Oh, shut up. Our momentum's always going. Ain't no fucking head down in the neutral. You get out of here. Okay, I don't need that.
Bitch.
I'm so sick of it. High fashion on his chest.
Balenci.
Yeah, I've heard.
Didn't they have an issue?
Canadian Tire, kid. Let's go.
Yeah, what's their marketing
Canadian
like?
Tire.
I don't know if you've heard it.
Kids.
Yeah, you like Balenciaga,
No, this
don't
is,
you?
dude, this is, hold on. Do you know what this symbol is? Do you know what this is, Pat?
Yeah, we can guess, pal. Yeah, it seems to be upside
Crappy
down.
tire,
Yield
brother.
to Maple Leaf.
Canadian Tire
Crappy
Corporation.
tire, brother.
Okay?
Those are tires?
Canadian Tire Corporation. It's like a hardware store, automotive store, pretty much sports leisure.
It's
Get
nothing
what you
like
need,
Valley Forge Automotive Center.
No, it's not.
Get what you need.
It is nothing like Valley
They ain't
Forge
selling
Automotive.
Goodyears either.
Yeah,
tires
I
like
mean,
that.
I am so. If you're going to represent a tire company on this particular program, it better be out of Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, brother.
Amen.
Jeez Louise, those Canadian tires, yeah, right.
They don't
driving
even work.
Pirelli.
Yeah, you guys need to put chains around them because of all the ice. They're not even the tires; it's the chains around.
Hey,
them.
I'll break them out. They're just right here.
Oh, boy.
I got all my chains right here. All my chains. You know my chains I like to wear. Is that what you're talking about? You talking about my chains?
Put my chains
Talking
on
about crappy tire, brother.
Yeah.
You
Anyways,
got no momentum in this.
yeah,
right
your
now.
momentum has been jammed up, buddy.
Yeah.
You came through with your head down. All of a sudden, we got.
Yeah,
you.
but I'm confident, though. You don't wear this shirt without confidence.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. Tone has a question for you, PK.
Yeah, PK, when we were talking to Jack Johnson yesterday, he was talking about how his Avs, they were up 3-1. They lost Game 5 at home. He said there was just a ton going on. All the family was there. The cup was in the building. The celebration was getting planned. It didn't work out. And he said the flight they were going to Tampa at that time, was just like the ultimate reset. Like, hey, we're on the road. We don't have to think about anything. They won the cup that night. Do you think it's a similar situation for the Panthers? Or do you think, because I've heard you say it a couple times, like, are their assholes pretty tight because they cannot go back to Florida for Game 7?
Well, I think that this is an exciting time and moment for the Florida Panthers. The best player in the world has showed you guys that you're going to have to beat them to win the Stanley Cup, and that's the way it should be. I don't think they want it any other way. I think when you think about winning the Stanley Cup, you want no stones unturned. You want to know that we gave everything we had. Every story that I hear about the Stanley Cup or somebody winning it always ends with them saying that they had to empty the tank. And there were always moments of adversity that they faced either in the finals or along the way somewhere. This is their adversity now. Like, you're still up 3-2 in the series. You're still in control. You have to block out the noise. And I think that's why it's the hardest trophy to win, because it takes the ultimate team to do it. And they're going to be challenged as a team. Their leadership, their confidence, not momentum, their confidence is going to be challenged. They have to find it. They got to find it. They have to find it.
This is not, okay, I think people have got it wrong since the beginning. This is not a misinformation program.
No,
never has been.
This is not a fake news program.
No.
We try to do journalism as much as we can. The shit that you're spewing is dangerous to society.
Yeah, it really is.
On this show.
Hey, hold on. So are you telling me that tonight all the momentum is on Edmonton's side?
No, we don't know.
That's why Edmonton Oilers.
If they score first, they'll have it early, I think.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about momentum. Like, you never know when that son of a bitch is going to show up.
Yeah.
So let's agree on this then. Momentum can happen, but it starts with confidence, right? Like, for Florida to change the momentum, they have to come into this game and dictate. They can't sit back and continue to do the same things that they've done, because the same pattern's going to happen. Doing the same thing over and over again is what? Insanity, correct?
No, that's redundancy.
Redundancy, insanity, it's the same thing.
No, somebody made that up.
If Coach Knobloch doesn't put McDavid on in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, I might jump over the railing.
Okay, do that. Please do. And, hey, don't stand on that desk you guys are going to have tonight for your show. We know that.
Oh, jeez. Would you stop with the desk? I keep hearing about this desk.
Okay, but confidence and momentum, pal, they go hand in hand. Like, here's church. Here's steeple. Look aside, see all the people. That is literally what confidence and momentum are. They go hand in hand, pal. How come, sometimes the hoop looks small and then the hoop looks big if you're a basketball? Well, that's confidence. But then once you have your confidence, is that potentially you also have momentum on your side. Yeah, that is kind of, but neither of those are tangible items. Why do you wake up on your birthday feeling good, but every other day you don't? Well, it's a mental mindset that this day is a special day versus not a special day. So you say like momentum's not real, but confidence is. It's like, what's that?
Every day is like my birthday. I don't even celebrate my birthday. Every day is like a birthday, man.
Happy birthday, PK.
That's my approach. That's my approach.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, PK. Tonight you're on at 7 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, I'm confident it's at 7. I think it's 7. I'm confident it's at 7.
You guys have had a lot of momentum this year with a lot of good shows. Don't give it up.
Until that tiny desk.
Don't give it up. Yeah, the tiny desk was that in the head down shot to the dome.
Through the middle.
And you guys just ate it. And then Connor McDavid it through, and the momentum has continued.
Yep.
Sounds like Moose is having a time of his life on the road again, like being back a part of a team. Is that what you guys are all kind of doing right now?
It's so much fun. I'm just so happy that, I didn't know Mark Messier before I started this job. So to put it all in perspective of how close the three of us are and just everything, just the camaraderie we have, how much we actually hang out away from the job. I mean, we're together all the time. I'm after this, I'm sure I'm going to see Mess down in the gym. So, we've built something pretty special. We have a lot of fun with it, game in and game out. And it's another challenge tonight. I mean, this is my first Stanley Cup final, my first ever Game 6 in a final. So I'll be leaning on them heavy to show me the way. Especially a guy like Reed, who's been doing this 30 years.
Do your thing. Take your stick out. Take your shots. You do it. You guys have been fantastic. The chemistry radiates through the screen. Ratings are higher than they've ever been. Keep crushing it. Miss Copland, everybody else that is obviously on the crew, we appreciate them. Have fun tonight and enjoy yourself in Edmonton, pal.
Love you guys. Thanks, Pat, again. Let's go.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, a man who has outed himself as a momentum denier. PK Subban. Way to go. Tatum. Yeah.
Tatum.
Yeah. All right. See ya. Yeah, flipping O's up there at the Canadian Tire Company. All right, see ya, PK. Valley Forge Automotive Center sells better tires than they would ever think of a tire. Selling them.
That sounded like a Mickey Mouse farm and fleet.
Yeah, so the name of the tire company is Balancy, and then Aga Tires? How's that work?
I don't know what that shirt was. It's called Canadian Tire. Everyone just calls it crappy tire because it stinks.
The symbol was of the tire, but
Can't wait for us to get sued now because
What's the Balenciaga situation?
Canada.
Yeah, did he just make that shirt and then, hey, can you print Balenciaga on this so
yeah,
people
that does
think it's
feel like a
Balenciaga?
custom PK shirt.
Oh, that's like a fashion
Yeah.
PK.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got to have a lot of confidence, he said, to wear this shirt.
Okay.
It's like PK, everything you do, you got to have a lot of confidence in it. We understand you got a lot of confidence. How would him being a momentum denier? Did we expect
Why?
this?
I guess he's kind of like, we're arguing the same thing, kind of. But let's say Edmonton goes up there and they get on the board first. Can you imagine that place? And if you're on Florida, you're like, hey, we need to shut this down. We need to take it back. We need to quiet this place.
Now, to our kind of detriment, it is wild the way we talk about it. Well, you can lose it at any time. When's it show up? Anytime.
Yeah. It's true.
It's like, yeah, but when you ride it, it's like riding a wave. You got to make sure you get the boogie board on.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we got to make sure.
When it's against you, though, we all know what it's like. Have you ever played in Seattle when you get down or they go up 7 with 2 minutes to go or something like that? Place goes crazy, and you're thinking, all right, like you can't be looking around waiting for somebody else to make plays. Like you have to go make a play.
I mean, just a couple weeks ago down at TST, we're down to whatever team that was, and then once we scored one, it was like, oh, here we go. They knew it too on the other side. Yeah, it was Supra. We were down 3-1. Well, I forget.
It was 2-0. We were saying the whole time, we just need to get one. If we get one, we're going to win this thing in target time.
And Supra knew it too.
Yeah.
Like as soon as we get one, and then Jeff Cameron tears his MCL while trying to score a goal, knowing he's going to tear his MCL. Mm-hmm. But that we got a chance to feel it, and everybody on the field knew what was happening there. And there's still people that say no to it. Joining us now is a man who, he wore those Paisan ones down there in Cary, North Carolina.
That's right.
Not only were they gold on the outside, but this man's brain and heart is golden whenever you talk about soccer.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, a man who told us exactly what was going to happen in Euros this past weekend, hopefully back to do it again. The host of Tell a Fella, Grella, Michael Grella.
Yeah,
Look how cool he looks. Look how cool you look right now.
Wow.
Jeez, you look so cool.
Boys, I love being on here. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, man. Just got done playing some golf with old teammate Sasha Kleshin.
Okay, obviously we know who Sasha is. What a star.
Portland Timbers legend.
Obviously, Sasha knows about the crowds up there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
He can bury those putts. We heard he's good on the golf course. That's right. Sasha's absolute guy on the course.
No, dude, you guys should know Sash. He's an ex-national team guy. He was like one of the first players the MLS sold for some coin. So, so he's like a pretty well-known guy.
Yes, of course we know Sash. Tell Sash we thank him for everything. He trailblazed in the American soccer community for us to be to where we are now, and we can't thank him enough for that. How was he on the golf course? Was he great?
I just put him in a bear hug, put him over my lap, and spanked him.
Okay, all right. Really good golfer, Michael Giller. Obviously, we'll talk golf at a future time. Let's talk right now about the soccer. You basically told us everything that was going to happen in the Euros in opening weekend. Everything, even the 16-year-old from Spain had a filthy assist and has become a topic of the conversation. Every name you said, I think, for Germany ended up scoring a goal. It's like you really seem to know this shit. And obviously, CBS, Galazzo, incredible show over there. What do we need to be looking at right now in the soccer world? The Euros still happening. I think Copa America is America's kicking off tonight. What do we need to focus on, and how should we be feeling about soccer right now, Grella?
Well, very soon there's France-Holland that's going to kick off. That's probably one of the best games, two top European sides. We saw, I don't want to go back to Gumpy right away, but we're seeing an England side that's fallen short of all the hype and all the metrics.
Still top of the group.
England stinks.
They're throwing defenders.
England stinks. England stinks. Hell yeah, you guys
still
stink.
top of the group somehow. It's weird.
Okay,
we've been playing like shit. Still top of the group.
Never coming home.
He's never coming home. Hey, 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 he's never coming home. Sorry about that, Grella. Go ahead. The Italians suck too.
So I don't think it's coming home.
Very good.
And then Copa America kicked off last night. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was Argentina, the big dogs, World Cup champs last time out, with obviously Lionel Messi, one of your boys that you guys love, and played against Canada, who was coached by Jesse Marsh, my last coach that I had in the MLS, who was a really important guy for me. He's a good manager and good guy, and he's the coach of Canada now. So, but it was interesting to see the contrasting difference between the Copa America teams, Argentina and Canada, versus what the European teams do. It was just a much more open game. It was fun to watch. So that tournament kicks off, so definitely get some eyes on that. And obviously the big topic of conversation that we should be talking about is the U.S. men's national team and what's this tournament going to look like for them, because
we play tonight, right?
Them play against. I think they play tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh boy,
I thought it was.
So Sunday against Bolivia. Right?
Yeah, that's what we're all looking at the graphics thinking that we have no idea.
Sunday.
Is it Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Graphic, way to go. Hey, that baby dirty.
Yeah.
That baby dirty. Okay, so the America plays Sunday. How likely are we to win this thing? We're going to win this, obviously.
So we're in a difficult group, right? There's Bolivia, Panama, and Uruguay. Obviously, Uruguay have won a couple World Cups themselves back in the day, obviously, but it's big football and culture.
Ago.
And but listen, it's going to be decided so much. The results of this tournament are going to decide what we say about this national team and what we say about this generation and what we say about Greg Berhalter and his job, because I think we see them play against Colombia where they lose 5-1 and they look terrible. And not only do they look terrible, they look like they were not fighting for the shirt. They look like they had no energy, no ideas. Then they go out 3 days later, play against Brazil, obviously 5 World Cups to them and one of the top teams in the world, and they play 1-1 draw where they looked fantastic. They looked energized. They looked like they were on the same level as Brazil. So what happens in this tournament, how far they go in this tournament, whether they get out of the group or not, we're going to be looking at this and saying if they don't do well, they haven't made any progress. We've actually regressed over the last 25 years. And if they do well, we start talking about, hey, we got something special here. Can't wait to watch this team go into the World Cup. Berhalter's the guy for the job. But it's the stark differences of their consistency are unbelievable. You don't know which team you're going to get. You don't know which performance you're going to get. So this tournament is going to be massive measuring stick for us.
All these games are on Fox that you're looking at right now, and I hope that we're at the point where we can be obnoxiously arrogant going into the World Cup, saying that we're going to be able to win. Please. We did that the last time, and all that we got was a bunch of drama about maybe backstabbing and stuff happening between coach and one of our star players. Now we're at a point where, especially with that Brazil outcome, if we were to do well in this Copa, just like we won the CONCACAF a couple times.
Of course.
If we were to do well in this Copa America, especially with the reigning world champion in there in Argentina, boy, we will talk so much shit. Let's talk about Argentina a little bit here, though. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Grilla, after the game, the Argentina manager and several of the players basically said, like, hey, this pitch was bullshit. It sucked. They rolled grass, natural grass on top. I think they played at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They just rolled it on top. Is there any way that like they are going to be able to fix this for the upcoming games, or how much is this going to impact these games? Like, should we expect that every pitch is just going to be horseshit for these teams that aren't from the U.S.?
It's really difficult. I had the sort of opportunity and played in Yankee Stadium against NYCFC. It was part of that. I have to mention every time we were part of that team.
Club.
Part of that team that beat we were on Red Bull, obviously, and we were part of the team that beat them 7-0 in their home stadium in Yankee Stadium. So, but I got to mention it every time I talk about them. But listen, they used to lay sod in the infield part of the field, and it was terrible, man. It was just like it was clunky and it was big, and it felt like you slipped around on it. I mean, I think it's dangerous for injuries and stuff like that. So to hear Mercedes-Benz Stadium down in Atlanta, which I've always enjoyed the stadium itself and the atmosphere, it's tough when they roll that new sod in and it hasn't had a chance to settle and it's not really rooted. You can slip around and slide around and it chops up pretty bad, and it can be frustrating, especially with where the game's going, with like guys being able to stop on a dime now, and they're so athletic and they can like take off and go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. So the sod not being laid right is frustrating. And I think
especially with the World Cup around the corner, right? Especially with the World Cup around the corner. Obviously, all eyes are going to be on us as we end here on ESPN, and we continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live still. We'll see you on Monday. Have an incredible weekend. Nailed it. Grella absolutely nailed it. Mm-hmm. So with the World Cup around the corner, is this what they were planning on doing for the World Cup too? Just rolling this shitty-ass sod on top of these stadiums? Because this is a big conversation with NFL players. Because the NFL players watching all these games be played in NFL stadiums, and then they put grass in there. NFL players have been asking for grass. But for the soccer players, you'll put grass out. But for us, you won't. And then I think J.J. Watt came out as a fan of soccer and traveling these games. He's like, some of these fields on top of these turf fields are shit. Like, they're absolute crap. Sound like Argentina said that. Is this what's going to happen for the World Cup? And what is the standard? And how does it end up getting passed? And are we going to fuck this up, America, in this entire thing?
Yeah, I'm glad we're having this conversation right now because it's something that's important. I think that, everyone said, well, we're not playing on turf. They know that's a big X, right? So then what they did is they just kind of roll out this turf and they get the heat lamps on it, and you've seen them, and they try to get the pitch ready. But obviously, if it's not getting rooted and it's not having enough time to settle and the thing is chopping up, you would almost make the argument that it's worse than turf. So, yeah, we have to find a way definitely before the World Cup to make sure that that's right on the pitches that are going to be laid new, or on the pitches where you're rolling sod over turf. We got to make sure we get that right, because you talk about it in football as well, in all the sports. It's injury prone. It makes for a worse game. It makes for a sloppier game. And I mean, last night I didn't really notice the pitch chopping up. Obviously, I wasn't there on the pitch, but it was an incredible game of football. I mean, just like end-to-end stuff. It was a wild result in the end. It could have went either way. Canada could have got ahead in that game as well and done something, but it ends up 2-0 Argentina.
Canada?
Oh. Interesting. They complain about the pitch, though. Interesting they complain about the pitch because I think they were in a match where they thought they would probably roll in it and beat an easy Canada side, and they had some difficulty. So,
and we know the soccer. Hey, we know you soccer people. Love the drama. Gotta have the drama.
That's why we
love them. Okay, so Canada 0-0 at halftime. I thought Canada sucked at soccer. I thought that's just
we got a great coach, Jesse Marsh.
Well, yeah, I heard about it.
Didn't want to coach Team USA, but wanted to coach Canada.
He said, "I want to go coach a team that has 2 months of sun." I mean, how to in warm weather? I mean, how would Canada even be good? You guys are good this year.
Good squad.
Come on.
We'll see.
Yeah, there's some good players, Pat. I mean, they got Alphonso Davies. He's incredible playing at Bayern Munich. He might be going to Real Madrid. They got Eustachio. They got Larin. They got a lot of good players. And they got Jesse. Listen, if you don't know about Jesse Marsh, his whole system is like high press and in your face and rah, high energy, doing the right things on and off the field. He's a really good guy. But his Canada side looked like they took on one of his bad characteristics, and that's the Swiss cheese defense, man. They were just getting chopped up, and there was huge holes in the back line. They were all over the place.
That's Canada football, baby. That's
number one team in the world. Tough draw. Tough draw.
Yeah, I mean, 0-0 at halftime. Do you guys have
We'll never forget it.
Will we play Canada in this thing or any of these things before?
We'll kill them.
When do we beat Canada? Exactly, AJ.
It's possible. There's been like a little. So my two last coaches were Greg Berhalter and Jesse Marsh, and there's been like a little rift between them. It's kind of handbaggish, but they do go back and forth at each other through media and stuff like that. So if they do get a chance to play each other, Canada and USA, it'll be very interesting. There'll be a lot of stuff in the lead up to it, I think. They both have to qualify out of their groups. Canada is probably in the hardest group of the tournament, and they got a loss already to their name.
Losers.
And unlike the Euros, only 2 teams will qualify. So you got to get 4 points or more to really be in a safe spot to qualify and have a pretty good goal difference. So starting off with the loss, we'll see. But Canada will have to get through, USA will have to get through, and then there's a potential that they can meet each other in the knockout stages.
We're getting through, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you guys get through,
I'd be worried about that Uruguay match.
Oh, we're not worried about Uruguay, dude. We're not worried.
Nunez and Suarez up top, brother.
Suarez is an American. He plays for Inter Miami. He shouldn't even be allowed to play in that game. Hey, real quick, Grella, I put out a tweet that said, hey, U.S. Soccer. I added them so they'd see it. Their social media manager sees it and then runs up a chain. Hopefully they talk to Mike Cameraman or whatever the hell the guy's name is. He's been around with the U.S. Soccer team forever. He's a PR person. He's the only person who still has a job, I think, through every candidacy of coach at that particular place. I like for our country to play in the next Euros. Not only play, I'd like us to win the next Euros. It seems so cool. All the fans, the environments, how much everybody legitimately cares about winning this. Like, it's a big deal. It's every 4 years. I would like us to play in Euros and go win the Euros and take their trophy right back to our country and say, you suck. Now, I got a lot of responses from the soccer community, obviously calling me a doofus, calling me an idiot, and all those things. It's not possible, they'll say. We're in the Copa America, though. And then people are telling me, well, the Copa America is actually more talented than the Euros are. If the United States wins Copa America, you actually will be able to brag over top of the Euros anyways because the World Cup champions there, is more talent there. Is that real? Is Copa America like the most talented tournament in the world? And how likely is it that we go win the next Euros 4 years from now?
You were never going to win the Euros. I don't see that happening. And then again, we were not supposed to
fuck you, Grella.
Shit. Why?
Jeez.
So, but listen, I think Argentina, Brazil made the Copa America level raise really high. But when you look at the European teams, there's so many. The level is higher, right? The spaces are more organized. The teams are more organized. I think aside from Brazil and Argentina, then the level is much lower in Copa America. I mean, USA will have an opportunity in the World Cup to beat the European sides and to beat the Asian sides and beat the South American sides. They'll have their opportunity to do that, and we'll see where they're at. But this tournament's going to be good. Listen, they got to play Bolivia first, and you guys are worried about the Uruguay match. I think let's get there first because the Bolivia match, if they don't get a result in that one, it's going to be tough slaying the rest of the way playing against Panama and then Uruguay.
Panama!
So the first game, they're going to have to hit the ground running.
We're minus 550, Grella. If we know anything about the way these games have been odds and favored and everything, we better win this fucking game. I don't know how many upsets there's been in any of these tournaments, but minus 550, we better win this thing over Bolivia. But I know they got a goalie that could stand on her head.
Yeah, perhaps.
That's what they're
Do
gonna
they have Pulisic? No.
They don't have Christian Pulisic, Captain America.
Don't we own the Panama Canal?
I don't think so.
Hey, Val, let me tell you something. Last time I was 550 in my last game, we went down to El Salvador, played down there, and everyone's like, "Oh, this should be easy." We scouted them. We're like minus 500, minus 600, and let me tell you something. We're playing up in the mountains, their altitude. You can't breathe for shit. 5 minutes into the game, I got a tackle. The guy left his mark on me. I think I still have it on my shin, and it's hot, and you can't breathe. And now I got one leg, and I'm like, oof. With minus 550, went to like even pretty quick.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, the players don't know that, and anything can happen. But remember, we're not going to mountains. We're playing on our shitty grass.
Bingo.
In the United States of America.
We're used to it.
That's what we're doing.
We're playing in Jerry World. That can be fine.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Jones is going to be sitting there. They're going to have
He's been busy.
100,000. He's been testifying. I don't know if he knows there's a soccer game happening because he's been in court with Sunday Ticket.
There's no way he knows.
All right, let's get to the Euros. There's an injury that has taken place on one of the favorites. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Grella, obviously you told Gumpy moments ago that England's not going to bring it home. And then the next favorite is France, and France's best player, Mbappe, he just broke his nose badly. He's wearing that mask. How much is that actually going to affect him in the games going forward? And just looking at this list here, are France the ones that are going to bring it home, or what do you think here?
It's interesting. The odds changed the other day. They had England and France there, but now they only got France there. I think. Look, it's like I said from the first.
Oh, is it because England stinks, Grella? Is that what you were just saying right there?
I think people opened up that present and saw that it's not as good as as we all thought.
Still top of the group. That's fine.
It's not good, Gumpy. It's not good.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty. I can't argue with it there, but Southgate's a masterclass. Bringing Gallagher on, fucking. I mean, we got so much talent on that team that's sitting on the damn bench, dude. It's absurd.
Pat, they got Palmer on the bench, who scored 20+ goals in the Premier League last season. And he hasn't played a minute yet.
That's like leaving the sensation off the Olympic team. Why would you do that? A lot of people make bad decisions around here, Grill. I guess it's happening in England too.
Pat, this one really bothers me, man. He's got unbelievable options in the center midfield. From you say that Premier League is the best in the world. He's got unbelievable options. Young guys that super they fit the position, and he's playing a right back. A right defender in their position, trying to overcoach, trying to reinvent the wheel, and he's looked like garbage in the first season.
Create the most chances in the tournament.
England stinks.
What are we talking about?
You guys even know what game you're playing? I thought it was your game. Remember, it's coming home. It's coming home. Luke Littler has distracted the entire country.
Yeah.
They don't even know how to play soccer anymore. Sorry about it.
That's country.
France, though. France could be able to go on a run. And what about this mask here for Mbappe? Is this normal in the soccer world?
Dude, I saw it the other day. Snapped his nose in half. I watched it live on the first thing. I mean, it was as broken as a nose can be. It was on his cheekbone, basically, and he'll be fine, dude. It's not his game. His game is on the run. His game's on the dribble. His game is with space behind. Shooting balls from distance, scoring inside the box. So it's not going to really affect him too much, I don't think. I mean,
he looks terrible. What if his confidence is busted just like his nose because he looks like this going on? If this is the mask you guys wear, could we not make something a little better?
Something cooler?
For Mbappe?
Like Embiid's?
Apparently, you can't wear that mask because he's got the France flag on it. For whatever reason, the tournament won't let him wear it. So it'll be similar. It'll probably be like painted matte black or something.
To be clear.
Yeah, listen, he got, to be fair to him, and a lot of these soccer players, he got up with his nose sideways and wanted to go back into the game, which I thought was really impressive.
Hell yeah, Bob. Come play for America, Bob.
I'd be out of there.
Yeah, he needs to come to the MLS. I know he's going to that place that has the hotel rooms for everybody.
Yep.
Real?
Mm-hmm.
Bartha?
Madrid, yeah, Real.
Right. Joe Pomp's favorite team, Real.
Joe Pompliano loves Real Madrid.
Absolutely loves them.
Gumpy hates how some people are covering soccer now. Like
Joe
Pompliano, but more specifically, Paisan, business guy on the internet, has been covering soccer. Soccer's in a boom right now, though, Grella. Do you feel that? I feel it.
It's in a massive boom, yeah. And then you got these two tournaments this summer. Next summer, we have the World Cup here in our backyard.
See, that's part of the problem. Too many tournaments. Too many, right? Too many things that are like the biggest of all time. Like TST, biggest of all time.
Well,
now we got the Euros, biggest of all time.
Yeah, but we always have something to look forward to, though. Like, there's always some soccer happening. That is pretty big.
But if you have too many things to look forward to.
Pat, you get that TST deal done. You mentioned them a lot. The business side of it must be done by now.
No, we have not finished that. That will certainly be something. I'm not going to be spending a shit ton of money next year like I did this past year to go down there. But if we can figure that out, we will certainly. Because it seems like there was quite a time was had by everyone.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved that tournament. Much fun. It was awesome, bro. That tournament was fucking sweet down there.
It was magical, man. And then we got it rolling, and we almost had an outside chance of doing something. It was good. I think we'll get better next year, so it was a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, and we figured out probably not a hotel next year, probably an Airbnb next year.
Sure.
So we don't have to worry about, concave chance at like 3 a.m.
Right. Keep it down!
Yeah, who's making the noise? Who is it? And we're actually saying who it is.
Yep.
And I was just screaming.
Dude, by the way, this goal gets better and better every time you look at it. Like, it's unbelievable.
To be clear, haven't watched it in a while. Was nice to see it again right there. Was nice to see that we still had it. And once you made a good point about me celebrating like it was my goal. I tried to get to you. It was hard. You know what I mean? I tried to get to you out there. I mean, it was filthy, though. And then that is so nasty. What a goal, girl.
It was filthy, man. Like I said, the celebration, I smack you around a bunch at the end. I don't know if you could show that.
Yeah, super Italian, super Italian face smacking and all this. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you had to do what you had to do.
Fake hold, yeah.
Yeah, hell of a shot, though. We look so athletic there for a moment in time. Next year, we're training longer.
Hell yeah.
Next year, we're actually going for this entire thing. Tone has a question for you, Grella.
Yeah, Grella, not about the tournaments right now, but, back in the early 2000s, if you were playing FIFA and you were looking for a striker that you wanted to score 50 goals a season with, that was Ruud van Nistelrooy. That was Nistel the Pistol, okay? Now he's rumored to be the new head coach at Burnley. Is that a good hire for our Burnley friends and JJ Watt?
Listen, with a lot of these ex-players that were so good, I think you see it a lot. It happened with like Diego Maradona. It happened with a little bit. So many guys, right? I'm not going to mention this one guy that I was thinking about. But
smart to do what you just did.
They're so good. These guys were so good at football, and their understanding of the game is so complex and so detailed and comes so easy to them that sometimes they have difficulty explaining it to players that are maybe not on their level. And so sometimes there's a disconnect between them and the players. But if you're going to hire anyone and you're Burnley and you have a chance to hire a guy like Ruud van Nistelrooy, you do it and you don't think twice about it just because of what he represents, what he represented as a player, who he is as a manager. I think, look how smart he looks there in that photo. But he's a good guy. Now, whether he's going to be a success down at Burnley, we'll see. We're talking about he played some of the top teams in the world with the top talents in the world. Now you're talking about Burnley going down to the championship. Difficult I mean, one of the most difficult leagues to play.
I thought they're one of the best.
Whoa.
They're a good team.
There you have it.
man.
Burnley stinks. There you have it.
They're a top.
Are they going to make it back?
They're top
Are
of
they
the
going to get it back,
championship.
Grella? You think they'll get back into the big time?
How about JJ, man? At the end of the TST, man, he was not happy, man. He's like, he gave me the saddest high five, man. Didn't even look at me. He just gave me a high five and just took off, man. He was
You
mad.
should have seen him after that game.
Yeah, there was a
That was
JJ's TST experience is certainly something. It was certainly something. They're in the middle of trying to find a new head coach. Our head coach just left literally a day before then.
Yeah.
Don't know if Burnley FC is going to be back at for next year.
At TST.
Yeah, TST, excuse me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think he had a blast. But there's
Dude,
a lot.
you go down to the championship. It's like going in a black hole, dude. You don't know if you're ever coming back. It's not.
Good
I'm
Lord.
being serious. It's not easy, man. It's one of the hardest leagues in the world. It's the most physical league in the world. It's like,
where would you rank?
My ex-team, Leeds United, is trying to get up for years, and they spent a couple of years in the Premier League and then got knocked back down, and they just got lost in the playoff in the final of the playoff. It's really difficult to come back up.
What's
and
the league
I don't know
called?
if Burnley can do it.
Champions League.
No, it's not the championship.
Championship.
We'll see if
the championship.
We'll see if JJ answers.
That league blows, huh, brother?
You just called it a black hole. You don't know if you're ever getting out.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, of course JJ's not answering. I wouldn't answer either.
He's probably watching.
My team just went into a black hole.
Yeah, he's destroying his gym right now. Fuck!
Let's see you coach them then.
Yeah. Okay, Grella.
Let's see you.
Fucking asshole.
All right, man. We appreciate the hell of you for joining us. Thank you for keeping us updated on all the soccer stuff. What's a good bet this week? USA over Bolivia?
Yeah, I mean, I know you boys are big fans, and I know you guys want the U.S. to win, but there's not a lot of value there. I would say France to get the job over Holland, get the job done over Holland today. If you want to bet a Copa America game, the Netherlands there. I think you do France there, and I think that's a comfortable bet because I think they only won 1-0 in their first game, but they were good. They were really good. They did a lot of good things, and I still think that they're pretty much odded there's still value there if you're betting on France.
You're the man, Grella. We appreciate the shit out of you. Obviously, you can watch Grella every weekend on CBS Golazo, which I believe is found where?
It's on Paramount Plus app at the moment. It's a free streaming service, but you can follow the Euros, the Copa America there. We cover everything. During the season, we cover the top 5 leagues. So it's a good place to get your soccer information.
I think you should think about just one time on there complimenting the United States team.
Please.
Just one time. Yeah. Don't you think? It would be cool?
Be a fucking prick.
Just one time. I know you guys are big
Hey,
fans.
I'm gonna wait till after this tournament, and I'll be their number 1 fan if they get something done here. But I don't know. Are we gonna get the U.S. against Colombia, or are we gonna get the U.S. against Brazil? I don't know yet. Well, I'm gonna wait and see.
That's a great question. And are we going to get U.S. versus Canada if Canada can make it out of their group?
Nope.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, tell the fella Grella, Mike Grella. Thank you, pal.
Grella.
Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll have Ron McGee live from the College World Series. And then we'll wrap up all the stories that we have not been able to hit this week as we propel into the greatest weekend of all time, AJ. You know why it's going to be the greatest weekend of all time?
Tell me. Why?
Because it's the next one.
Hell yeah.
Always got to have that mindset. PK Subban's birthday every day. And if it is a birthday, why don't you buy some tickets for somebody? Why don't you head over to our friends at SeatGeek, the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so look for the green dots. Green means good. Red means bad. Green means this is a good ticket at a good price. Red means you can find this ticket elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to catfish you. Every ticket you buy is what you're going to get. And they're all about selling experiences. They're all about having you have memories for the rest of your life. At a wedding down the road, you'll be telling stories. You remember when we went to? Yada, yada, yada. Game, show, comedy, whatever. They have tickets for everything. Right now, use the code PROGRAM30, PROGRUM 30. Program, which is what this is.
Yep.
30. You'll get $30 off tickets. Now, some restrictions apply, which I do believe is if the ticket costs less than $30.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter if you're a new or repeat customer. You can get tickets to anything. NFL, NBA, NHL, which are obviously the NHL's only one still existing. Concerts, comedy. Last night, Kenny Chesney, you could have went.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Combs is on tour right now.
Yep.
Kenny Chesney's on tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift, I believe, is still on tour right now. There's comedians on tour every single weekend.
Hootie. Didn't you guys go to Hootie and the Blowfish there? Someone did.
Blowfish is on. I mean, there's a lot of shit to go do. You're alive, but are you living? Go live and experience something live with our friends at SeatGeek. All right. On the other side, we got McGee live from Omaha, which should be fantastic, and wrapping up this glorious week. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
If you're the NCAA and you're sitting in that stupid office in Indianapolis where we happen to live, it's a great city. It's a great town. And there's a dumb institution that is ruling over college football. Because if you don't want these people dancing... Celebration, bitches!
What's a major? Is that the president's name?
Oh, that's the Kurt Signatic. Do we like the NCAA? Do we like Pat? Do we love the Dukes?
I wish when I was asked, like, why did you punt? I could say my subcommittee recommended I punt.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
This guy's hot. This guy's hot.
We'll see you in the next hour. I say today, we take a stand against the NCAA. Let them bull.
Let them bull. Amen.
Rest in peace, Dale. Moment of silence for Dale Earnhardt. Moment has passed. Thank you, Dale. This one's for 3. AJ Hawk, $5,000. This has been one of the coolest moments of my entire professional life. JMU! Thank you so much for the hospitality. JMU! You understand quickly that there's idiots making decisions in every single place that you would never guess idiots would be making decisions. You don't think bowl season deserves to have this situation cooking behind it? College football is better because JMU's football is crushing. College is better because what their football team is doing. The community is better of Virginia. You know what? To hell with all of them. James Madison, right here. Right here. That chef looks damn good. I'd eat that guy's meat any day of the week. If you're able to bury this 33-yard field goal, kicking is easy is what you have said to kickers before. Others have on the internet. Now, 90 racks on the line. We believe. Oh! Kill the kid! Kill the kid! Our worst kid yet! 100 racks of charity. This dog stinks! And that's that the JMU are going to crush App State. They would crush anybody this weekend, especially in this city with how dumb the NCAA is. Let them bowl and let the boys dominate today.
In my Constitution, I have the First Amendment right to free speech. Pat has the Second Amendment right to take its sleeves off and show the bare arms all the time. But I'm saying, if we are so lucky to go undefeated this year, and we end up winning in a bowl game, if we get in, I'm going to use my First Amendment to declare the JMU Dukes national champions. Like UCF. I'm just going to say it, and come and stop me. Time to coach.
I'm jacked. I am. It's working. All of it's working.
They'll have one loss because App State is beating JMU Mountaineers, baby. They're gonna dog shit all over this dumb place. App State forever. Yeah, fuck you too. How about that?
For you, did you know you would be good in front office? Did you know that this was going to be something you would succeed at?
I didn't know I'd be good at it. I didn't even know I'd be doing it. It's an interesting story as to how I ended up here. I ask myself that often. Way back when I was a kid, I did love like the NFL draft. My dad used to pull me out of school. Out of half day, he'd come pick me up at lunch. We'd go watch the draft. So I loved that. Throughout my career, I'd piss my wife off by not only watching round 1 through 3, but then watching round 7. And I'm filling out sheets. And I think the thing that probably piqued my interest, I was living in Denver after I got done playing there. I'd become friendly with Elway. We played some golf together and he looked out for me. We had the same high school coach. We went to Stanford, played football, baseball, same fraternity. That was like the poster on my wall. But Elway took the leap at the Broncos. And in his first year, he said, Johnny, you know, I'm keeping a lot of the scouts, but I don't know them. I love the way you think about football. Could you watch the safeties this year and write some reports? And so I did that for him. Remember, it was the year of like Mark Barron and Harrison Smith. And I took a lot of pride in, I had no idea how scouts did things, but I just watched it like I would watch film, and I sat there at the computer and wrote some reports, and Elway was blown away with like the detail. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. The next year he says, that was awesome, Johnny, why don't you do the DBs? So I did the entire DBs. I added the corners. The next year he invites me in for their draft process. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. I went to Indy. I went to the combine with the Broncos that year. So that started piquing my interest. Long after that, there was a guy who ended up bidding for the Carolina Panthers, and he didn't get the team. Tepper got it, but there was another gentleman by the name of Ben Navarro, and I worked with his brother at Fox, and he one time asked if he could meet with me, and out of the blue asked me if I would run his team if he got the Panthers. And I said, really? Are you serious? And he asked me to kind of put together a vision statement for how I would run a team, and so I spent a couple weeks doing that. I met with him, and from that point forward, I kind of just said, if the right scenario ever came about, this might be something I want to do. I was missing like competition. I was missing scoreboard. I was missing the wins, the losses, all of that. Out of nowhere, something was keeping me up at night one year. I didn't even know what it was, and my wife said, something's on your mind. I know you when you're acting like this. You can't sleep. And I had done a bunch of Falcon games that year, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. It's the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and I heard something like Kyle Shanahan's going to get this Niners job, and that's the one he wants. But somebody said he's struggling to find a GM he wants to work with, and so something was on my mind. I had done a bunch of Kyle's games that year, and I gave him a cold call, and I just said, hey, dude, I want to thank you for all the time you've given me all all year in these production meetings. I heard something that you're struggling to find a GM. And he goes, I am, man. It's killing me. I think I am going to take that Niners job. And he goes, why are you asking? And I said, well, consider me. I don't even know if I do it, but just think about that and see what you think. And his first question, he's like, dude, why would you do that? You got a great job. You got a great life. Like, why would you even consider doing that? I said, you go play your games. He did. He called back and he said, man, I can't stop thinking about what you said to me. Would you do that? And I want you to come meet this dude named Jed. Well, that dude named Jed was our owner here, Jed York. Came and met Jed. We flew cross country to Atlanta. I was offered the job on that flight. We meet with Kyle and the whole thing's wrapped up. I hadn't even talked to my wife or family yet. It all moved kind of fast, and here we are 8 years later. So sorry for the long story.
No.
No.
I'm hoping we get 3 or 4 more of those. That was phenomenal. Hey, thank you for blessing us with that information. And also, shout out to you being somebody taking initiative and being like, you know what? Yeah, this is something I want. And diving right in and being prepared and knowing that you're prepared.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this feel-good Friday, June 21st, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Sports!
Are the greatest thing.
Got it.
Man.
Still wasn't sure if it was sports or football. I don't know why I don't know why I'm indecisive on that one.
Football on the brain. That's college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, AJ Hawk. Tua Tagovailoa, obviously massive quarterback contract picture.
What was that?
This was AJ Hawk.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then there is Tua Tagovailoa.
Also Hawk and Tua.
I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to that girl.
Yeah.
That girl.
So sorry to her father.
Well.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, we've seen a lot of those style of interviews.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's the first one in a good bit that is just kind of
captivated everybody.
See ya. It is. So I guess she's a great content. I assume she'll be figuring out a way to profit. Something good's going to come from it. Congratulations to all parties.
Yeah.
Talks Tibbs here at Boston. Did you see how many pictures of your face were on the internet last night next to Tua Tagovailoa's face?
I've had a few of them sent my way. Yeah, that girl's funny, man. I mean, maybe it's like she's not like speaking from experience. Maybe she's just saying, "Hey, that's like what you could."
No, it was
her. Thing. It was she was asked directly.
Yeah,
personal experience.
Her move.
Hey, she found a way to cross over.
Yeah.
I just hope she doesn't have brothers.
And then Tua Tagovailoa was right there.
Yep.
And then the follow-up, too, was a good little ad-lib.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a sound effect, solid.
The laugh.
And then the high. And
it was more her pizzazz is what put it over the top.
A lot of pizzazz.
Tons
she
of pizzazz.
knew that she fucking got she killed it.
Yeah.
It's the right answer.
Yep.
Bang.
And the guy filming knew. We got it. We can go back.
All right, no more questions. We
Yep, let's go home. Let's
get the party. We're going to party with everybody else. All right. We're going to go try to
go party with that girl.
Let's get a Hawk to it tonight.
At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Hawk to it, Diggs.
Thank you.
What a thing. That took over everything. Speaking of taking over everything, ladies and gentlemen, college baseball has been all over TV because it is electrifying. It is the time of year where we are going to crown national champions in Omaha. That means it is time to chit-chat with a man who might be the mayor of Omaha. Ladies and gentlemen, host of Marty and McGee, friend of the program, Ryan McGee.
Yeah, McGee.
Hey. Hell yeah.
What's up, y'all?
4 horsemen back home. We'd like to say hello to the other 3 as well. McGee, great to see you. How's Omaha, pal? I know you love getting out there every year.
It's awesome. I don't know if I'm allowed, the NCAA will allow me to do this legally, but this is my current situation. Like, Tennessee's taking batting practice back
Hold on,
there.
tap on the screen. Tap on the screen.
Yeah.
You got to tap on the screen.
I'm trying.
No, you got to tap.
Just flip it around.
Oh, it's a Zoom. He doesn't have a.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no.
Well, that's
green text.
Can see it off the sunglasses.
Yeah. Keep it
Get
on the
closer to the
sunglasses.
How's that?
No.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Am I cool? All right. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, so Tennessee is taking BP now. Texas A&M is waiting to play. And what's crazy I love the history of the College World Series. I was just talking to both of the coaches about this, Jim Schlossangle and Tony Vitello from Tennessee. Neither one of these programs have ever won the College World Series. And Texas A&M's never been in the finals. And the last time Tennessee was in the finals was 1951. General Neyland threw out the first pitch. That's how long ago it was. So it's cool that, we're going to have a brand new national champion. But both of these are great baseball programs. I would have lost that bar bet, that neither one of them ever won this thing.
That's a very long time for Tennessee, and obviously Texas A&M never making it to the finals is a hell of a story. You got George Strait taking on Kenny Chesney in this entire thing. The Tennessee team,
your boy,
hell, he was on the show yesterday. Hey, he was.
I saw it. It was awesome.
Your boy.
I was watching it on the airplane flying out here.
He was sitting right here. He was awesome. That turned into like a full, hey, you're a music icon. Let's do a full interview, a full conversation. Then he got a chance to catch a couple songs last night. He still got it. He's in that cold tub that he's in.
Oh, yeah.
He's jacked. He's shredded.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that bald head he's got has like muscles in his head. Right?
Yep.
I mean, he is going to be doing this forever. He's not nostalgic. We told him this yesterday. You've been doing this for 31 years on the road. You're not nostalgic. You still create new albums that people sing along with on there. He's going to be able to go forever. It was a lot of fun. But with Tennessee and Texas A&M, obviously we got SEC representing pretty big here. Is this normal for the College World Series? Because obviously LSU last year with Paul Skeens, we learned about SEC runs this shit. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, no, 100%. And what's crazy is this, it wasn't always like this. It's become this in the last, 10, 15 years. Now, LSU has been great at baseball since the 80s. When our boy Ben McDonald, our coworker, was pitching there, they've always been great. But it used to be a West Coast dominated sport. I mean, USC has won this thing twice as many as any other school, but haven't won it since the 90s. UCLA was here all the time. Stanford was here all the time. All these Cal whatever schools you never heard of, Northridge, Riverside, whatever, they've all been here. And so in the last 15, 20 years, it's been all, we were guaranteed to have the 5th straight SEC champion this year. And I think this will be either the 10th or 11th SEC champion in the last 15 years. So this is I think it's the 5th time we've had an all SEC final. So this College World Series, it was 4 ACC schools and 4 SEC schools. And the ACC schools are all gone. And now we have Texas A&M and Tennessee. And it's awesome. So, but what's crazy is how the wealth is spread. I mean, it's Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, and one of these schools, but they've all won the College World Series, like most of the conference, and that's just crazy.
Okay, that is crazy. That is awesome. Obviously, warm weather helps with baseball. I think that is something that people would definitely acknowledge and agree with. But is Omaha are all the people in Omaha now speaking with Southern accents? Like, is it just a bunch? It's Southerns. How's the party scene with Tennessee and Texas A&M crowds? Because we knew, wasn't LSU buying out all the alcohol they had?
Yeah, they had that drink counter and they were killing everybody.
Yeah, it is. Is everybody in Omaha like, well, how you doing? Like, are they kind of adjusting, cultural appropriating to the South taking over Omaha in the College World Series? And how have the bars been?
Yeah, I've been calling it Oma y'all. Like that's what I've been calling it since I've been. But yeah, so literally right across the street, like I'm pointing, but right down the first baseline, a place called Rocco's, and Rocco's is where they've done this Jello shot challenge. And what happened was it had been around a while, but then Ole Miss won the College World Series a few years ago, and as y'all know, in Oxford they like to drink alcohol, and so they bought like thousands of these shots. And then Mississippi State came in the next year and won the championship, and they took offense to the fact that Ole Miss had set a record. And then LSU shut up last year and was just like, okay, whatever, we're from Louisiana. And they bought, it's like 20-something, like the guy that owns Raising Cane's, the chicken finger place, he by himself one night bought like 6,000 shots. And so the Tennessee
Rocco's
people,
is like, who can drink the most?
Oh yeah. But the Tennessee people have, quite frankly, and these are my people, I went to school there, they've been very disappointing in this thing the last several years.
Wow.
But this year, they have a chance to break LSU's record. And in fact, Tony Vitello made a comment, wouldn't it be nice if Peyton Manning just came in and bought the entire city of Jello shots?
That
and
would
if he
be
does,
nice.
I'll be over there. Yeah, he has the money.
Yeah, is he there? I assume he's going to be there for this entire thing. After a win, I assume Peyton doesn't want to do it until a win. If a win happens, okay, the whole city's probably going to be eaten, which is something to think about if you're Texas A&M. Maybe you guys lay the bats down.
Ooh.
Maybe let Tennessee win.
Yeah.
Let Peyton show. No, Peyton was here. I know he was here at the start of the series, which was a week ago. And he went home. A lot of the Tennessee fans were here. there hasn't been a game for a couple of days, and so they left, and they're all, all my college roommates and in-laws and everybody else are calling me wanting tickets. I don't get tickets. I have a credential. I'm working, but there's plenty of fine people out here that will be happy to sell you a ticket.
AJ has a question for you, McGee.
McGee, what makes this college game so special when you're watching in person? Is it the ping of the metal bats, the fan bases? Like, what do you love about college baseball?
It's got personality, man. It's what I always say about, I like my Saturday football versus my Sunday football, which is the NFL, as you guys know, is a business first and foremost. And everybody wants to win and they work hard. But when you go to an NFL game, you miss the marching bands and you miss the cheers that have been around for 150 years and all that stuff. Well, if you watch college baseball, just watching the dugouts and the benches alone is worth it. And the families are here. It is a national championship game. But like I'm sitting here watching Tennessee take batting practice, and I got the outfielders family sitting over here. I got the star third baseman's family sitting over here. It feels almost like you're like in an American Legion game, and there's a national championship on the line. So it's the personality behind it, man. That's the part I love about it. And you guys know this about me. AJ, I love the events that are owned by the city. The Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, the Masters at Augusta, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I like the cities, the Kentucky Derby, the cities that own their event. And Omaha has owned this event since 1950, and that's what I love about it.
And Omaha crushes it seemingly from everybody we've talked to that's been out there. When did you get there?
So I'm the jerk. Everybody's been out here for like a week and a half. I'm the jerk that shows up like for the last third of it. I'm like, hey, let's go out. And they're all like, screw you, McGee, we're tired. But I did get them all to go out last night. But no, I know where we're going to put you guys. If y'all come, there's a place. I can't tap my screen. There's a place outside the right. You literally looks into the ballpark. Yeah. It's called The Blatt. It's a bar named after old Rosenblatt Stadium, and it has a rooftop. If you guys were up there, it would break Omaha.
All right, next year we'll think about doing that. Next year we'll think about doing that for sure next year. I mean, I'm certain we'll probably head out there.
I'll mark it down.
Yeah, you're ready.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll mark it down as a reminder.
Has there been any like country musicians performing outside the hotel? Anybody of any conversation?
Nobody, no one you've ever heard of. You guys just had Kenny Chesney on the phone. I'm pretty sure that Kenny Chesney's third cousin, like Timmy Chesney, was playing outside my room last night. So I'll say this: I've drank some of Kenny Chesney's rum last night, and it was delicious. So thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny. Hey, thank you for doing what you're doing, Kenny. And also your third cousin.
Go Balls.
Killing it last.
I'm telling you. So there was a guy, and he's on like a flat. It's one of these like flatbed trailers they bring in that like this plug and play. Like it's already got the speaker, it's already got the amps and the drum kit and everything. And they roll in, and they look like a bunch of damn extras from Pirates of the Caribbean. By God, they were playing Friends in Low Places at 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and which is fine. We didn't have a game today. The problem becomes like they play Saturday night and Sunday afternoon, and then maybe Monday night. I have to go to work, so I don't need, Benny Chesney out there playing at 1 o'clock in the morning, playing the Amarillo by morning. I don't need that at 2 o'clock in the morning when I got to be at work the next morning.
I think Barth Brooks heard you last year, and maybe Benny gets a chance to hear you this year.
Benny Chesney. Yeah, I think Barth Brooks opened for Benny Chesney in the Omaha Hilton parking lot.
I do appreciate that. All the dive bar musicians know that, hey, Omaha needs gigs. Yeah. You got gigs in Omaha if we can get out there during the World Series, and they'll put us right outside Ryan McGee's hotel room.
Yep, and he'll talk about it.
All right, so shameless plug. So tonight on SEC Network, we have a Marty and McGee CMA Fest special. We went to the CMA Fest 2 weekends ago and interviewed all these guys, Luke Combs, all these guys, and some of them I knew and some of them I didn't. But there's a 1 hour special now on SEC Network ahead of the CMA Fest, which I think airs on ABC this weekend. But we would go out at night, and I used that Barth Brooks joke a lot because we saw a lot of Barth Brooks on. It was like all the stages have everyone you've ever heard of, and then all of the stages behind the stages, which is where I was. Marty goes and hangs out with
of course,
Luke Bryan. I go and hang out with Brian Luke. Whoever the hell that is, right? Because I have no porn.
Yeah, but did it hit every time? Barth Brooks, Benny Chesney, Brian Luke. Did these hit every time though? I assume every single time.
Yeah. No, Brian Luke. No. Luke Bryan enjoyed it when I said Brian Luke because I actually did say that in front of him. He's a good dude, by the way. Yeah. He told us a funny ass story. He said he said he was trying to buy some leather, like to put a base in like his gun safe or something. And he went to like Hobby Lobby, and he asked the lady, they're in Hobby Lobby in Oklahoma, Nashville, wherever it was, and he said, "I need some leather." And she goes, "We got this fox leather over here. You should use that. That fox leather is great." And he's like, "What the hell is fox leather? It's faux leather."
Oh,
yeah. He kept calling it fox leather. So there you go.
I'm not going to say it. Okay, I'm not going to say it. Southern people are awesome.
Yeah.
Don't you? What's that?
We appreciate
There's another word.
Yeah, I mean that is. Think about how pumped that lady was whenever she heard how many PETA even like we have a leather.
Yeah.
This fox leather somehow slips through the cracks for PETA. They're never ever complaining about this. All right, last question about the College World Series. 7 p.m. on SEC Network. Is that tonight?
Yes, tonight. Yeah, that's our special, and then tomorrow night around that same time on ESPN will be the game one of the College World Series championship.
McGee, Mr. 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Prime
dude.
time McGee, baby.
We got Jelly Roll stopping by. Brian Luke.
Brian Luke.
Dasha.
We got Jelly Roll. Yeah, Dasha came in there, and she was great. And what was interesting was we had the people that like did it old school, right? Like Thomas Rhett did it old school, moved to Nashville, like grinded it out on the stages and became a star. And then you had Dasha, who literally went to bed one night and woke up the next morning and she was like an internet superstar. And so everyone appreciates everyone's story. She wrote a song about wearing boots in Austin and did a dance on TikTok and went to bed. And the next day, she said, literally by the end of the week, she had a record deal. I was like, okay, but it's just
God bless America. Hey, God bless America. God bless America. You know Bojangles? I
do love. I think I sent you a picture from the Charlotte airport of the Bojangles last week. Did y'all get Bojangles? I heard y'all got free Bojangles.
Oh, we got free Bojangles.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We know Bojangles.
Yeah, we know Bojangles. It made me. I'm gonna be honest. I had the spicy chicken biscuit.
Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
So
it's ridiculous.
Oh,
that's breakfast.
Maybe one of the best tasting things I've ever had.
All right.
I did have some wild dumping situations in the afternoon.
Poop soup.
And I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it was from that or something else that I had, but there was certainly a little feeling. But as it was going down, it tasted so good.
So you have to adjust. Your body has to adjust. The next time, it's like going skiing. The first time you go skiing, it sucks. But you break your leg. But the next time you go skiing, it's easy. So it's just the next time you have Bojangles, your system is now adjusted properly. But it is. I told y'all it's delicious.
It was so delicious. My guts need to build up a Bojangles callus, I think. And if I was able to do that with a Bojangles near me, I would. Connor, what are you talking about?
Look,
you didn't have the spicy chicken biscuit.
You did. That's
spicy chicken biscuit was so good.
It's exactly what I had, and I can't do this. It just was fucking awful.
My God!
I hated my Bojangles experience. I basically bit into a chicken bone. And
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did. And I don't want it to be this way. I love McGee. What McGee says is basically gospel to me, but when it comes to Bojangles, I just can't trust him.
He got a bad piece of chicken.
Next time we'll get you some like on the bone chicken, like a real like piece of chicken, and it's delicious. I'm telling you, come to Charlotte, hometown of Bojangles, 1977, and I will take care of you and don't worry about it.
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Everybody else feels differently than he does.
I want him to like it. Yeah.
Well, he will.
I want to like it. I was biting into it like I'm gonna like it.
McGee, you saw this guy operating at the Celtics Pacers. I mean, you know what I mean? Like this is who we're dealing
Everyone
with.
did. Everyone saw him operating at the Celtics Pacers. I'm pretty sure they still have his picture by the door. Like, don't let this damn guy back in the door.
And how did it end up, McGee? What's this? As a world championship, baby?
It ended up great. So I left. So full disclosure, I left that game, I think, start of the fourth quarter because I had to literally get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work the next day at the 500. And they had an 18-point lead when I left the building. And by the time I got back to my hotel, they'd lost the game. I was like, I know who's enjoying it, and I know everyone's not enjoying him.
Spot on.
How about McGee thinking about, Connor's got to be insufferable right now.
Thank God I got out of it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought I had no dog in the fight. Y'all breaking bottles. It was hell in there. Man. It was awesome.
Jack Daniels bottle gets cracked in the back of the. I mean, it was wild, wasn't it? It was a wild evening. I thought I had to get out of there.
The best thing is watching Mrs. McAfee go into full mom mode. Guys. Like I watched her shift into another gear, and by God, she got everybody in line, at least for a little bit.
Samantha,
I
appreciate the hell out of Samantha doing that. I think it's the first time I've heard her called Mrs. McAfee by somebody else, which is a cool moment here, especially coming out with a Southern accent. But yeah, there was a bottle that cracked in the back. Connor almost jumped over the suite. I mean, it was a wild time. That's NBA playoff basketball.
Big, that's the Eastern Conference Finals, baby.
It was.
Yeah, well, we're revving it up. And I tell you, my favorite part with you guys is watching the dudes who are casually trying to get y'all's attention. Like, if they stand a certain way, or if they yell a certain thing, or if they fold their arms a certain way, maybe the guys will see me and I can be on the show. It's the craziest thing. The psychology of that. It's the McAfee effect. It's amazing.
You know, the people are very kind to us. I mean, Connor was very rude to them that particular evening, but people are very kind to us, and we are very, very, very thankful for it. But there is moments where I'm potentially signing up for like 15 conversations if I lift my head up. So I've become a laser-focused person where I am like, I'm paying attention to this, and then when we're in here, I got a chance to talk to Ryan McGee.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
It was awesome.
It was a great time.
I drank all the drinks, and I ate all the free food, and got me a pom-pom, and got the hell out of there. It was a great night.
Smart night. Last thing from the World Series happening in Omaha, College World Series from Tone Diggs.
Yeah, McGee, last year we knew it was Skeens and Dylan Cruz, and those were the two guys. I don't know, is there big names like that this year in the World Series final, and who is it?
Well, watch the Tennessee infield. There's the potential in that Tennessee infield to have 3 first-round draft picks. Okay. And unfortunately, probably the best player on these rosters is a guy named Braden Montgomery for Texas A&M. He's hurt. This would have been his 3rd straight College World Series. He was here with Stanford the last 2 years, and unfortunately, Braden was hurt. I was just talking to the coach just last night about a minute ago. He's here, and he's hurt, but he can't play. A&M's amazing because guys keep getting hurt and they keep winning. And meanwhile, Tennessee is still at 100%. And so, but yeah, watch the Tennessee infield and watch the bench for Braden, because there's at least 3 first rounders that will be in these dugouts over the next couple nights. A potential for even 4 or 5.
Well, maybe we'll see him pitching in big leagues next year.
Hell yeah.
They're playing in the big leagues, just like Paul Skeens has already taken over and maybe going to make his first All-Star team. He's about to potentially make his first All-Star team. It's crazy. We can't thank you enough, McGee. Enjoy the hell out of Omaha, pal.
All right. You boys are the best. Love you, mean it.
Hey. We love 4 horsemen out there.
Hell yeah.
Love you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron McGee.
Yeah, McGee.
Love you, mean it.
What a week, boys.
Unreal.
Can't wait to watch the College World Series.
Yeah.
Legitimately, because tonight, anything could happen in this NHL game. Anything could happen. We could have a storyline about a legacy building that'll be talked about forever. That is the first one with Connor McDavid. And then talking about first one, if Florida wins, it's the first one in the franchise's history. After losing in the finals last year, coming back and winning, what a story to tell. We learned from our mistakes 1 year ago, and now we came back better, stronger. And although we did face a little bit of a flurry from the Edmonton Oilers, when this thing could have been over in 4 games, we were able to re-find ourselves and play Florida Panther hockey. We won a Stanley Cup in Edmonton in their face. That could happen tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Then this weekend, you got College World Series taking place. Who's going to be the next national champion?
Cool.
First time since 1951, Tennessee's been there, and Texas A&M has never made the finals. Holy shit.
Nuts.
Think about it. If Tennessee wins that thing, Peyton Manning's going to buy $7,000 worth of Jell-O shots from Rocco's.
He better.
Right. Got a great weekend in store.
Soccer.
Soccer's happening. We're beating shit out of Bolivia on Sunday.
Yeah. Can't wait.
That's awesome, AJ.
F1 probably. I'm sure F1 somewhere, right?
Fuck that. Who cares?
Yeah, we don't watch that. But I do see there's probably a NASCAR race, an IndyCar race.
Probably. Yeah.
Live. I saw Bryson started the Live event in Nashville.
Did you see how many people were there?
Yep. Talk about a big boom for that whole industry for the Live. Are you kidding me? Like, are they gonna? Hopefully, they can continue this momentum. Something that we feel is real.
Perfect city in Nashville. Perfect city for Nashville to be the place, because there's a lot of people there, and it is a destination city where people can be like, I could travel there and go experience this a little bit. But DeChambeau, being the babyface and being the topic of conversation, look at this. That's a Live golf event right there. That's on a Friday.
That's a major right there. Like in a PGA major, that's a crowd.
That's on a Friday right there. That's not the weekend. That's like, this is happening. Congratulations to DeChambeau, obviously being a needle mover, but to Live getting a crowd that looks anywhere near what PGA normally gets, because that's been a big knock. Like, okay, there's nobody watching. We got music playing. You got this gimmick shit on the green. I mean, we can't do it. You're playing 54 holes. It's like, this ain't. And now we got a crowd, so that's going to create an atmosphere all weekend, which will hopefully drown out the music a little bit, so we don't have to hear, Kesha playing on the 18th hole of somebody potentially winning a tournament, a golf tournament or whatever. But then you think about, like, Brooks is playing great golf. You got DeChambeau playing great golf. Phil Mickelson's in his bag talking his shit. Yeah. Obviously doing his thing. Yeah. He was doing some new boot goofing, I think, down there.
Looked good.
Looked happy.
Good.
Is this Live? And then now, obviously, the PGA and Live are maybe merging it. It's like PGA might be getting on at the right time, too.
PGA's got a good leaderboard right now in Travelers, so.
So this could be, okay, golf could have a massive, weekend? And then obviously next month or so, if anything is to get settled so we can see all the greats playing together. Once again, even though some of them got paid, life-altering, family tree-altering cash to play golf for a little bit, while the others chose not to and ride along the legacy train that is the PGA. It's exciting times in sports. We'll cover it all. Hey, let's have a great weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We're alive. We get to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Bingo.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful out.
We get to have
Get outside. Feels great out there. Get out there.
I'm excited. Get outside. Let's make sure we're using SPF 30.
Get not outside
50,
for too long.
50, maybe 75.
Yeah, 50.
100.
And let's hydrate. Let's
Hydrate.
Let's think out there. Let's have fun.
Yep.
Let's enjoy this life. Hey, I am so incredibly thankful I get to do this with you boys. You're the absolute best. What a week. Can't wait to see you guys
Appreciate
on
it, brother.
Monday. All right. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice.